Sir, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, sir, Director EEI Hyderabad, and good morning, Dr. V. Sudharani, Madam, Director of Extension PJTSAU Hyderabad, and also good morning, sir, Shri Sanjay Kalekar, Joint Director, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, and good morning, Shri Ritish Chauhan, sir, Joint Secretary Credit and Farmer Welfare and CEO, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, sir, and good morning all the speakers and faculty members, technicians and other officials. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar on crop weather insurance in India and challenges and the way forward, organized by Extension Education Institute, Southern Region, located at Hyderabad, and Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, New Delhi. I welcome once again Dr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, sir, Director EEI, and I welcome Dr. V. Sudharani, Madam, Director Extension PJTSAU Hyderabad, and also I welcome Shri Sanjay Kalekar, sir, Joint Director, Ministry of Agriculture, Farmer Welfare, Government of India, and also I welcome Shri Ritish Chauhan, Joint Secretary Credit, CEO, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Ministry of Agriculture, Farmer Welfare, Government India, sir. And also I welcome all the speakers, faculty members, technicians to this webinar on crop weather insurance in India, challenges and the way forward. And also I welcome all the speakers, especially Pallavi Mali, Madam, because the Madam was organizing and every day she was in touch with us for organizing this webinar on crop weather insurance in India and challenges and the way forward. Welcome everybody. And I request Dr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, sir, Director EI, to give opening remarks.
Asgaro, Suresh, our technical team.
Sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, right. Good morning to all. It's my pleasure to invite. Could you mute? I request our technical team, please mute those who are cross-talking. Yeah. It's my pleasure to invite all the dignitaries from Government of India as well as our university, our EI faculty, the faculty and the students from different colleges of Rajendra Nagar campus, especially the Department of Agriculture Extension and Economics, the participating officers from different client departments of Southern Region. At this juncture, I take the opportunity, the officials from the crop division, the credit division of Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India, for collaborating and supporting to organize this webinar on crop and weather insurance in India, challenges and the way forward. I thank from the bottom of my heart Ms. Pallavi Mali, who is the Capacity Building and Content Development Analyst, Credit Division, the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, GOI, for guiding and facilitating to materialize today's event. I equally welcome Sri Ajay Karan Singh Saab, National Program Director, CPMU, Venkatraman sir, Deputy Director Nodal Officer for PMFBI, Srimati Shobha Patil. So probably I think CB is replaced. Assistant Director Nodal Officer PMFBI, Bharati Wazirvelu, Zonal Manager Southern Region, Agriculture Insurance Company of India, Sunil Kumar, sir, Assistant Commissioner Credit Division, there is another resource person. Dr. P.R. Prashida, State Head Business Development, AIC of India, Regional Office, Thiruvananthapuram. I thank all the resource persons from the Credit Division of the Ministry as well as from different states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala for sparing your valuable time to share the knowledge related to this crop and weather insurance in India. As all of you know, insurance is a safeguard mechanism. It protects us from the extremities, hazards, calamities. It is important for our personal life and equally important for the well-being of the animals, more so in case of crops, which are highly susceptible for the external aberrations. It's very glad to note that over decades, enough initiatives were taken up, introduced in this arena of crop and weather insurance to give a cushioning effect and to protect the farmers and to safeguard their socio-economic profile from any eventualities that can ruin the crops, livelihoods, and enterprises. And recurrently, repeatedly, the departments, sectors, and governments were trying to sensitize the farming community about the importance of this kind of crop and weather insurance. And it is high time that we should be much more rhetoric to empower and enlighten the farming community about crop and weather insurance, because we are seeing climate change is creating a havoc, playing with the lives of the farmers as well as the entire mankind. So, when every sector is so protected with the insurance, so still we have to evolve a robust mechanism to protect the farming community by evolving this kind of crop and weather insurance mechanisms. And it's not only designing the insurance framework, but we have to rope in the farming community by enlightening, by explaining the importance of those insurance mechanisms. So with this, I welcome all the participants, resource persons, and thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, sir, Director EI, for giving opening remarks on importance and how the insurance will be benefiting to the small and marginal farmers. Sir, Madam Chair, I request Dr. V. Sudharani, Director of Extension.
No, she may join.
Okay, Madam will be joining shortly.
Shortly.
Next,
Yeah, we start.
Speakers.
Speaker.
Sir, Shri Ajay Karan, sir, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm there.
Ajay
Sir.
Karan.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, your session on impact of climate change on agriculture and need for crop insurance, sir. You please take the session, sir. Before that, I want to introduce Shri Ajay Karan, sir. Sir, Ajay Karan, sir, is a national program director for Central Project Management Unit, Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Government of India. Okay, sir, over to you, sir. You can take the session, sir. Only restrict to 15 to 20 minutes, sir. Thank you, sir.
మనం ఇది కూడా అనుకున్నాం అవార్డ్స్.
Over to you, sir.
Good morning, all. Is my presentation visible? Yeah. Pallavi, is the presentation visible?
No, Ajay. Jagan Mohan sir, can I request you to share it from your side? Yeah, now it's visible.
Yeah, your voice is very feeble.
Sir, slides are visible, sir.
Slides are visible. Pallavi ma'am, your voice is very, very feeble, very low.
Okay. Now it's clear?
It's okay, a bit increased. Why?
Yeah.
Still,
That's
you
fine.
can increase the volume.
Okay.
Am I audible?
You are audible, sir.
Yes.
You are very much
Okay,
audible.
thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, first of all, Director EEI and complete EEI fraternity for organizing this much needed, basically a capacity building initiative for state government officials to basically make them understand the importance of reaching out to farmers and make them aware of what risks they are exposed to and what are the interventions which they can take in terms of addressing those risks. So I'll stick to my topic of today, which is basically climate change on agriculture, the impact of climate change on agriculture, and why do we need risk protection and insurance for that purpose. So as we know and we are witnessing in our day-to-day lives, and yesterday, last 2 days, Delhi had a record-breaking rainfall of 153 millimeter, which is a record in last 40 years, I think. So that is the severity what we are exposed to and the farmers are exposed to due to climatic change and climatic risk. Whereas the severity and impact of climate-led interventions or climate-led events have increased. And now the rainfall does not happen across the entire rainfall season, but it happens across maybe few days, increasing its severity and the impact and basically the wrong impact or the negative impact on everyday's life, including the crops and farmers' economic welfare also. So as we know that heavy rainfall could be one of the events, but then the natural disasters, maybe the pest and the disease impact on the crops, heat waves, droughts, maybe very severe rainfall, flooding, inundation. All these are basically the impacts of climate and weather on cropping and in Indian agriculture. So, and farmers are exposed to these different types of events and perils, and which impacts their uh, better crop production, crop quality, and eventually impact their economic welfare and the earning capacity also out of these crops. So, I mean, these are the weather events which have turned into a natural catastrophic event rather than being a very localized and low impact events. Few of the events, so for example, cyclonic rains or the rains what we are witnessing in the north this season are kind of turning into a natural catastrophe wherein large spread floods and inundations are happening, destroying the crops, destroying homes, destroying the public infrastructure itself. So these weather events basically in the last few years have turned into a potential natural catastrophe impacting larger sphere of life, not only the agriculture itself. And for the last many years, we are seeing that these events, be it hydrological events, meaning thereby the rainfalls and some events related to the water, rise of water level, uh, climatological and geophysical events have been increasing year on year for last couple of decades, and a few of the studies says that these climatic impacts are going to be more severe in coming years. And if we talk about agriculture, so maybe these are few events which can turn into a catastrophic event for agriculture and for farming as well. Drought could be one, widespread floods, cyclones and cyclonic rains. And then there are some localized events also, cloudburst, inundation, natural fire and hailstorms, which eventually are impactful on agriculture and thereby causing losses to the crops and eventually leading to financial losses to the farmers. And this is what the vulnerability of India as a country towards climatic risks and climatic changes are, wherein part of very large part of the country, right from Western India to Central and the Southern India, is exposed to very high potential climatic risk. And although the entire country is exposed to some kind of climatic change itself and climatic risk itself, but the larger part of Western, Central, and part of Southern Peninsula is exposed to potentially a very large uh, climatic risk. And because of we know that due to this climatic change and fluctuation in weather parameters, changing rainfalls may lead to yield fluctuations and scarcity of water and leading to maybe the drought conditions as well. Rising temperature is another parameter which obviously leads to stunted growth of crop. Maybe the quality is also compromised and lead to a lot of pest and uh, disease infestation in the crops, leading to crop loss. And as we are seeing the frequency of events and severity increasing and frequency also kind of severe events increasing, so that leads to physical damage of crops and eventually leading to financial losses to the farmer. Now, seeing from the crop-wise commodity impacts, rice, wheat are the major crops for India, and both are extremely dependent and impacted by the weather and climatic changes. Obviously, we know that rice is a monsoon crop, summer crop, so hugely dependent upon a very good monsoon. So if there is a severity in the rainfall, or maybe the weather condition goes wrong and leads to drought conditions, so eventually that will lead to destruction of crops, reduction in productivity and the quality as well. So I mean, paddy is somewhat crop which is highly exposed to weather changes and the climatic changes. Similarly, wheat, maize, and sorghum are the crops which are major cereal crops and are exposed to climatic risk and may lead to crop loss because of adverse climate change. Rest, maybe you can see from the presentation, few of other crops which are still susceptible and to weather changes and may lead to the production risks. And one of the studies says that these climatic change and the risks may lead to maybe approximately 10% impact on the agriculture GDP, and uh, which is a very large impact, knowingly that a large population of the country is dependent upon farming, be it direct farming or indirect agriculture activities. And obviously, Kharif is more exposed to climatic risks in comparison to Rabi, but Rabi is also not insulated from the weather risks. And one of the studies says that in next 6 to 8 years, due to these climatic changes, the production may decrease by maybe around 10% in comparison to what we have today. If maybe if these climatic risks are not handled well, and there is no strategies to maybe protect the losses from these climatic risks and vulnerability. One of the in 2021, we saw even though the altogether the weather conditions were not very adverse, still we had around 5 million hectare of the country getting impacted majorly due to cyclonic storms and flash floods, leading to tapering monsoon having more than 35% of the excess rainfall, actually impact stage loss across a few of the states of the country. And this is basically one of the studies says that only because of the weather events, maybe the excess rainfall, cyclonic events, or drought conditions, potential drought conditions in last 6 years has led to approximately around 28,000 crores losses. Although we know that last 6 years were kind of normal years without any major catastrophic event happening, but think of the situation when any catastrophic event happens and the kind of potential losses it may lead to. And we all know that this year, 2023, is a El Nino year, so which predicts for a weaker monsoon, and we have seen this in part of the country also as happening, wherein we are seeing it actually. That the actual rainfall departure from the normal rainfall is to the range of 10 to 14%. And because of this, sowing and transplantation of crops have been impacted, or there's a delay of at least 15 to 20 days. And this eventually will lead to some sort of crop production decrease or the quality decrease in this year if this El Nino impact also increases with time, and the prediction is that part of the monsoon will be stronger, and there will be large impact on the rainfall. So that is a very imminent risk which we are seeing as of now, which may potentially impact the Kharif and also the Rabi crops as well for this year. Maybe I'll skip this slide. And one of the studies which World Economic Forum has done in 2022 says that climatic risk and extreme weather conditions are going to be the larger and I mean the very prominent reasons or prominent event in coming 10 years, for the coming 10 years, which may impact a normal livelihood and normal lives of the citizen of the globe, not only India, but across the globe itself. And extreme weather situation, increasing frequency and increasing severity of weather events is one of the major reason or the major event which will happen in next 2 to 5 years. So what does this mean? This means that we are exposed to very severe and extreme weather events, which may further increase in coming years. And then we'll have to have strategies in place to deal with such events, not only in crop diversification and crop management, but also the risk protection mechanisms. How do we protect the risks and financial losses of the farmers and keep them basically invested in agriculture despite the losses happening. So if we see the global examples of insurance and the losses the globally countries are exposed to. So this slides gives you idea. It is not India alone which is exposed to extreme weather events across the globe. Many of the countries, many of the crops are exposed to very high losses and large losses due to extreme weather conditions, be it cyclone, hailstorms, floods, etc., and drought condition also. Domestically, if we see, in country we are implementing PMFBY for last 16 years, even before last 7 years, even before 2016, some sort of insurance was there. Initially, we have MNAIS, and before that, National Agriculture Insurance Scheme. So the insurance protection mechanism in the country is working for last 35 years. But 2016, we gave it a new name, which is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So if we see this slide, so within the country itself also, the few states have faced huge losses on account of climatic change and the losses happening because of the extreme weather conditions. So starting with Chhattisgarh in 2017, which saw 384% of, so here the percentage is in terms of the premium paid by the government and farmers altogether, and against that, what were the losses paid by the insurance company. So this basically establishes that even though the years may sound or the monsoon may sound very normal and without any major impact, but still there are pockets, there are areas and within the states which may be exposed to extreme weather conditions and yeah, adverse weather conditions, which may lead to crop losses to the tune of 300 and 400% of the premium being paid. So basically, herein I'm coming from climatic risk to why insurance, why do we need insurance for the farmers to be protected? So we know that the crop failures may lead to fluctuation in incomes and livelihood, and maybe may push farmers towards poverty. So crop insurance is one of the mechanism which may protect. Basically, crop insurance says or protects the farmers against the possible financial losses happening to the farmer because of these adverse climatic and weather conditions and natural catastrophes. Obviously, insurance also leads to excess of credit whenever the claim is paid to the farmer. So farmers basically uh, can invest more into crop diversification and risk mitigation activities, maybe the mechanization also, and encourages the farmer into investment for technology infusion or mechanization, and reduces obviously the financial risk and place the farmer back into the position, financial position which he or she was before the any weather condition or event has struck them and led to the crop losses. So these are the few reasons why we do why the farmers need crop insurance, because India as a diverse country have been exposed to many of the weather conditions, be it tsunami, cyclonic rains, floods, landslide, and obviously incessant rains and droughts also. About 50% of the cultivable area is exposed to, as we saw in the previous slides also, there's a large part of the country which is exposed to very severe kind of weather conditions, and that translates into 50% of the total cultivable area is vulnerable to different kind of weather conditions, including droughts. Now coming to Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, as we are part of this program and implementing this program across the country, across the states, and I understand that the audience also in this webinar is well aware and well versed with the provisions and what Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana is. This is basically an insurance program to safeguard the farmers and protect the farmers against crop losses and the financial losses. It's the lowest farmer premium is paid by the farmer. Large part of the premium is contributed by state and central government as a subsidy part. And this program basically covers the crop right from sowing till harvesting. So all the complete life cycle and all the eventualities during this crop life cycles are covered under this insurance scheme. And obviously this is a voluntary scheme, but then farmers have a choice to enroll themselves through multiple channels, including banks, CSCs, and other different technology interventions, which few of the speaker after me would be speaking about. And obviously under PMFBY, a lot of leveraging is being done to explore the technology and how technology can be better used for better service delivery and protection of farmers against crop losses. During the past 1 year, there had been a lot of technology interventions brought into PMFBY, which basically uh, promising the states as a stakeholder and the farmers as the end beneficiary that PMFBY is something which is an ultimate solution for at least the potential financial losses a farmer is exposed to due to adverse climatic conditions and natural catastrophes. So universal approach, so basically covering all the farmers, not only the farmers who are enrolling themselves voluntarily, but states may choose whether if all the farmers of the state needs to be covered under the program. So Andhra Pradesh was one of the first states to adopt universal coverage, wherein all the farmers of Andhra Pradesh are automatically covered under the program without them going under enrollment through any of the channels. And from this year, Maharashtra and Odisha have adopted kind of an approach for going ahead for universal coverage by subsidizing basically the farmer's premium itself altogether. All the farmer premium will also be paid by the state government. So farmer is only needs to contribute 1 rupee as a enrollment validation charges. Otherwise, the rest of the premium is paid or contributed by the state government itself. So this is a step towards universalization. of coverage of farmers of the entire state. And similarly, claim settlement, something which was left to insurance companies till now, and insurance company were the only entity who was processing the claims and who was knowing what is the status of the claim, is now being made more objective and more transparent through use of technology. And now the claim calculation and settlement happens through the National Crop Insurance Portal. Farmers are also able to track their claim status. They know whether they are going to be paid for their losses and what is, the development on the claim payment side. And eventually, since grievances is something which needs to be addressed and farmers need to have their queries answered, so we have launched a beta version of Farmer Grievance Redressal Portal, which we know as Krishi Rakshak Helpline. And this is going to be rolled out in coming months for the entire country. So this is what I spoke about DigiClaim, wherein now the claim settlement and calculation happens through the National Crop Insurance Portal. And recently, Andhra Pradesh was witness to this portal, wherein after the launch of claim settlement by Honorable CM of the state, the claim of around 550 crores were initiated through DigiClaim module itself on Saturday. I spoke about Krishi Rakshak Helpline and portal, which as a beta version we launched for Chhattisgarh state, and we are in the process of finalizing the hiring of an agency to roll out across the country from this Kharif itself. And these are few of the pro-state government initiatives which we have taken in last 1 year. So one of the initiative is technology adoption. Basically to move away from a conventional method of yield assessment by using a portion of it as a technology intervention. So remote sensing and other parameters giving us yield estimation for the crop. And then there has been a proposal to set up weather stations across the country, so that the weather data, real-time weather data at a hyper-local level, can be put to use not only for agro advisory but also risk mitigation, warning, and obviously the weather data is one of the parameter in technology-based yield estimation. So this will be handy while the yield estimation technology is actually rolled out across few states for estimation of yield in parallel to the conventional methods of yield estimation. I spoke about claim settlement and auto administration through National Crop Insurance Portal. So now each and every data enrollment as well as claim data is available for the states to look at and monitor through National Crop Insurance Portal. This year also we got the historical yield data also inputted on the portal itself. So the insurance companies take this data for risk assessment and pricing, and this remains as a single truth for yield data for coming years. Apart from this, in the last 1 year, alternative risk mechanism other than PMFBY were also introduced, which we know as cup and cap model of 80, 110, and 60, 130. So basically giving flexibility in the hands of states to choose a model from in addition to PMFBY if these models make sense for the state. This is something which I spoke about yield estimation through technology. Maybe the speaker after me will speak in detail about this, but in nutshell, this is usage of remote sensing and weather parameters and other crop phenological data put into a model and predicting an yield. This yield will basically be combined with conventional yield to come out with an annual yield, estimated yield for a crop, for a few crops, largely paddy and wheat across few states. And this is what I spoke about: wind, setting up of weather station and ARG's network across the country, weather station at tehsil level and ARG at Gram Panchayat level. To start with, this will first be implemented in the states which are implementing PMFBY as of now, and maybe then we can adopt other states also to roll out this network of weather stations and ARGs. I'll skip Cropic as of now. Basically, Cropic is a technology which we'll use for crop damage assessment and finding out the potential loss of crop happening due to weather conditions or localized events, for example, inundation, hailstorm, and all those, based on the photographs of the crops taken during the event. So now maybe at the end, few expectations from the states. That is, one is the digitization of notification. So since the tenders are done and a selection of insurance companies have been completed in large number of states, barring few. So the next step is digitization of those notification on National Crop Insurance Portal so that the enrollment starts. Obviously, because yield estimation through technology is one of the important interventions which will be rolled out from Kharif 23. So states have to prepare themselves for rollout of yield estimation through technology models and maybe come out with the tender for selection of technology implementation partner, and then find out or maybe nominate or select the monitoring mentoring institutes, which we know as MIT, Mentoring Institute for Technology Rollout, and selection of technology implementation partner, which we know as TIPS, for carrying out this YesTech implementation. And obviously, the next is also setting up the WINDS network, which is ARG and AWS network, and possible strategic interventions, including the tendering and selection of weather implementation partners. So that is the third thing which states need to find out. So we are in a process of rolling out the final guidelines and manuals for YesTech and WINS, maybe within next couple of days. So states are expected to start action on that front, and the people who are based out of at the district level and monitoring the district level, so they are also expected to monitor the insurance companies whether enough information, education, and communications interventions are being done. Farmer outreach is being done, and farmers are being approached for enrollment, and enrollment through different channels. So basically, promotion of scheme, awareness and advertisement about the scheme has to happen, and farmers needs to be educated about how they can enroll themselves, why they should enroll themselves under insurance, crop insurance, and maybe also to answer their queries and concerns related to the scheme itself. So with this, I come to the end of my monologue on the risks which our Indian agriculture is susceptible because of adverse climatic changes and weather patterns, and how we need to basically strategize to safeguard the interest and the financial losses of the farmers, so that we encourage farmers to stay invested in the agriculture, adopt technology and mechanization, and also protect the financial incomes of the farmers, so that eventually agriculture is something which uh, remains economically viable option for the farmer.
Sir,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you very much, sir. Ajay Karan Singh, sir. Sir, you have explained very well, sir, regarding the climate change, how it is happening to the farmers, how farmers are losing the crop, and what are the benefits regarding the insurance, new technology interventions and initiatives, and chain module and Krishi Rakshak helpline and different modules and weather information network. All these things you have given nice explanation, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Next speaker, next speaker, Ms. Pallavi Mali. Madam, she will take the session on overview of crop insurance program, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, and restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme. Madam Pallavi Mali, madam, she works in capacity building and content development analyst, Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India. Over to you, madam, to take the session.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Madam, your voice is low, madam.
Is it better now?
No, better, madam. Nice.
Yes.
Now it is good.
Okay, thank you. Is the presentation visible now?
Yes, madam,
Hello?
visible. Madam, visible, madam.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much for this opportunity. It's a great thing that we are collaborating with Extension Education Institutes. It's very much important that we do this collaboration so that we can disseminate more and more information regarding Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana to the extension functionaries in the states, as well as so that they can take this forward information to the farmers they are in connect with. So I'll start with the overview of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So this is not a new scheme. It has been running in, is being implementing in the country for the past 30-35 years. So it started in 1985 as a crop insurance, comprehensive crop insurance scheme. And later on, more and more modifications have been made. So in 1999, we have National Agriculture Insurance Program. And again, in 2017, the weather-based crop insurance scheme was launched. In 2010, it was modified and pilot yield basis insurance scheme on the actuarial basis was started. So government then taken into cognizance the different challenges in implementation, what are the pitfalls, why they were not taken up by the farmers, the challenges that are faced in the field implementation by the state governments as well as the insurance company. Everything put together, it was taken the stock, and then government tried to convert it into a foolproof scheme, and it was then launched as a Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana in 2016. So all other schemes they now put together, merged under this one particular scheme called as Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. It's a flagship program of Government of India. So about this program, this is very comprehensive and effective crop insurance scheme that has been proposed by the Government of India for the welfare of farmers. And the major aim of this particular program is to protect the farmers. It is an important risk mitigation tool which protects the farmers from unseen natural calamities like hailstorm, drought, floods, cyclone, heavy and unseasonal rain. We have seen in the previous presenters presentation also. And the scheme was revamped in 2020. Earlier, the scheme was compulsory for the loany farmers. Loany farmers are the farmers who have taken the Kisan Credit Card, the agriculture loan from the banks. So for them, it was compulsory. So it was considered as their crop loan was protected using this crop insurance in case of crop failures. But in 2020, the decision was made that it should be made voluntary for all the farmers, considering whether the farmer want to participate in the scheme or not. They have given this option, and now the scheme is voluntary for all the farmers, whether it is a loany farmer or non-loany farmer. The broad objectives of the scheme is to provide financial support to the farmers in case they are suffering any crop loss or crop crop damage due to unforeseen natural calamities. We have seen the impact, the severe impact of climate change on the agriculture, and how these events are impacting agriculture both in terms of production, productivity, and as well as financial losses to the farmers. So somewhere we are trying to provide a safety net to the farmers through these particular scheme. It is also helping the stabilizing the farmer income and continuing their ensuring their continuance in the farming. Since if there is any crop loss and if it is being protected with through the crop insurance claim, then the farmer has the handy money for the continuing the operation for the next season. So that is the objective, and also to encourage farmers to adopt modern and adaptive new agricultural practices with the support of financial support through this scheme. So presently this scheme is implemented in 22 states, and previously it was implemented in 27 states in one or the other year, but right now it is implemented in 27 states and union territories. We have seen this particular scheme is is very is asking farmers to pay very nominal premium rate. For the kharif crops it's 2%, for rabi crops it's 1.5%, and for commercial and horticulture crops it's 5% of the sum insured. So it's one of the scheme, we can say that this scheme is the largest scheme in the crop insurance in the world in terms of farmers enrollment, the number of farmers that are enrolling under the scheme, and it's the third largest in terms of the premium that has been collected. And the risk coverage we have seen, it's covering entire crop cycle right from pre-sowing to the post harvest, and both type of losses that are covered under this scheme. One is the area approach or the widespread calamities, and another one is the localized calamities that are happening at the one individual farm unit level. So all these types
Excuse
of
me.
risks are covered under
Excuse me, ma'am.
this.
Pallavi,
Yes.
ma'am, the PPT is not visible, ma'am.
See, it's visible now.
Pallavi, your presentation is not visible still.
Yes, madam. Presentation is not open.
Okay, just a minute. See, check now.
No, madam, not open.
No, madam.
Not open. Can you share it from your
Not
side?
open.
Okay, madam.
Can you share it from your side, please?
Okay, madam.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
సురేష్
సార్
అది ఓపెన్ చేయండి.
సరే సార్ మేడం అది క్యాన్సిల్ చేయమని చెప్పండి సార్.
మేడం ఓకే. Madam, can you share this PPT, madam?
I have shared with Jagan Mohan sir.
Jagan Mohan sir, okay.
Yes.
మేడం ప్రధాన్ మంత్రి
Overview of PMFBY.
ఓకే మేడం.
Yes, please. Please move on to the next slides. Yes, next. So this what we were discussing. It's a comprehensive and effective crop insurance scheme launched by Government of India, and it is trying to provide risk mitigation to save the farmers from unseen natural calamities of various kinds, hailstorm, drought, floods, etc. The scheme was revamped in 2020. Earlier, it was mandatory for loany farmers who have availed Kisan credit card or the agriculture loan from the banks, and now the scheme is made voluntary for all the farmers, whether it is loany farmer or non-loany farmer. So now farmer have the choice whether to participate in the scheme or not, and thereby it's our major responsibility that we need to educate the farmers about the importance of the scheme, how they can avail the benefits of the scheme, all these things, so that they can take informed decisions about scheme participation. And seeing the impact of climate change over a period of time, we have experienced the severity, and this also emphasized upon the need for the crop insurance that we have taken to the farmers, and to explain about more to the scheme. So objective of this scheme is to provide financial support due to the crop losses, so that with the crop insurance claim in hand, the farmer can prepare himself or herself for the next season and continue the agriculture practices, so that we can able to stabilize their income, as well as we can able to protect if the loan they have, agriculture loan they have taken from the bank. So the scheme was earlier implemented in 27 states and UTs, and now the 22 states are implementing this particular scheme. The farmers have to pay very low, the nominal amount of premium under this particular scheme. For Kharif it's 2%, Rabi is 1.5%, and for commercial and horticulture crops is 5% of the sum insured. So this particular scheme is the world's largest scheme in terms of farmers they are enrolling under the scheme, and it's the third largest scheme in terms of gross premium that is collected under this particular scheme. So from the farmers point of view, it's a very important scheme, and the farmers have to pay very negligible or the very nominal amount of premium to secure their crop in the event of losses due to climate change. We have also seen the scheme is comprehensive in such a way that it is covering the complete crop growth cycle, right from the pre-sowing till the post-harvest. We'll see what are the different risks that are associated during the crop growth cycle, and they are all covered, affecting due to various perils. And the scheme is also covering two types of risk. One is a area approach or the widespread calamities, which is happening on the very large scale, large area, and another one is a localized calamity which is happening on the individual field or the farm level. So that is also being covered. So in that sense, it's a very comprehensive scheme for the farmers. Next, please. Next slide, please. So this is the current status of implementation. These are the implementing states. Majorly, we have seen, except few of the states, they have not implementing the states. In terms of mechanism, this is actuarially driven insurance scheme. The actual premium rate being quoted by the insurance company, and the state government invites bid insurance company participates, and the one who submit the lowest or the L1 particularly rate, that insurance company gets selected for this particular implementation of the scheme. In terms of coverage, we have both yield as well as proxy yield through comprehensive sowing and harvesting, and we have a one threshold yield as a benchmark yield, against which we are comparing the actual yield. And for the RWBCS, so the weather-based crop insurance scheme, we have weather triggers, so we see if there is an increase or decrease or any deviation from the weather triggers. All crops, majority all agriculture and horticulture and commercial crops, the field crops, the food grain crop, oil seed crop, horticulture, fruits, vegetables, they are all covered under this scheme. And technology, the infusion of technology is one of the key areas that the scheme is looking forward. And with the help of these technologies, in my previous speaker's presentation, we have seen the technology infusion, whatever initiatives Government of India is taking, that will help in the smooth implementation of this particular scheme. Next, please. So these are the major two schemes that we are covering under the umbrella of PMFAY. One is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, and another is crop restructure weather-based crop insurance scheme. So major crops covered under PMFAY are the field crops, the cereals, pulses, oil seeds, and RWBCS we are covering fruits and vegetable crops mainly. So the yield parameter or the claim, how it calculated it based upon the The threshold yield, that is we talked about, it's a historical yield for the best 5 out of 7 years. So that gives a benchmark yield level against which we are comparing the actual yield, the current year's yield for calculation of claim in the PMFBY, and whatever is the shortfall is then compensated as a crop insurance claim. In case of RWBCS, we go for the weather parameters. There is observed index, and we see the strike index, which gives upon the deviation from the observed index, whether it is increase or decrease, and accordingly the claims are calculated. So the risks are covered, the different types of risks that are covered under PMFBY are adverse weather conditions like droughts, dry spells, floods, pest and diseases, landslide, natural fires. And in case of RWBCS, mainly we compare this in the weather conditions like rainfall, temperature, wind, humidity, etc. The different implementing states we have mentioned in PMFBY and RWBCS, and there are a few states which implement both PMFBY as well as RWBCS. So these are the major states, and the other parameters, they are the similar parameters in terms of in implementation of both the schemes. Like they are majorly it's an area approach scheme. The premium rates for the farmers are similar. Enrollment process, seasonality, discipline, and claim settlement process is almost same in both the schemes. Next, please. Next slide, please.
Suresh, next slide.
Yeah. So these are the key features that we have seen. All the farmers, whether they are landowners, they're sharecropper, the tenant farmers, they are cultivating the notified crops in the notified areas can join the scheme. They are all eligible for participating in the scheme. So here the state government is playing very crucial role. State government is coming out with a notification where they notified which of the crops to be included under this particular scheme, which are the areas to be included under this particular scheme, and what could be the associated risk. So the state government notification is the basic document and which tells about all these preconditions, and the farmers who are cultivating the notified crops in the notified areas are eligible for joining under the scheme. We have seen that the scheme is voluntary for all the farmers, and here are the different risks that are associated during this complete crop growth cycle. My next speaker, they will get into more detail, but just have to have a glimpse of what kind of risks are covered. So prevented sowing and germination failure is the first risk. Whether if due to unfavorable climatic conditions or the adverse weather conditions, if the farmer is not able to sow, and even if the sowing has happened and then the germination is failed, then this particular risk is also covered in the beginning of the crop growth cycle. Then for the standing crops, there is mid-season adversity and the localized calamities are there. And after harvesting, after post-harvest losses also due to these various mentioned perils, hailstorms, cyclones, cyclonic rains and all, if there are losses, then losses are also covered under this particular schemes. Next slide, please. So these are the different stakeholders we have seen. This scheme is implemented through multiple stakeholders, and you can see that the central government is at the central place, which main role is to define policies, come out with the guidelines, come out with the various initiatives and help and support the state government, and also the subsidy part of burden. Like in the after the farmer share, the rest of the amount of subsidy is equally shared between the central government and the state government on the 50-50 basis. And for Himalayan and Northeast region, that subsidy share is 90:10. And then there are 27 states and UTs. So states are the major implementing stakeholder of this scheme in the state. They come out with the notification, they come out with the various guidelines and actual implementation along with the other stakeholders. There are 18, now there's one more added. So 19 empaneled insurance companies are there. They participate in the tender and bidding process whenever the state government is inviting. And apart from that, there are banks and the PACs. Banks and the primary agriculture cooperative credit societies at the ground level. They are also the main enrollment channel which are enrolling loany farmers, but they also can enroll the non-loany farmers. But since the scheme was earlier mandatory, then these banks and the PACs were the major source of enrollment for loany farmers. Apart from that, we also have the Common Service Center, the VLEs and the DOPs at the village level. Around 45 to 50,000 are active now. They are helping in enrollment of non-loanee farmers into this scheme, and the farmers, these are the ultimate beneficiaries. So every year around 5.5 to 6 crore farmer applications are being enrolled under this particular scheme. So you can see the canvas of the scheme is very large and multiple stakeholders that are engaged into scheme implementation. Next slide, please. So this is just to give a glimpse of what is the performance of PMFBY over last few years. So erstwhile scheme, it has the comparison is tried to made between the erstwhile schemes from 2010 to 15 and PMFBY scheme from 16 to 2022. So we can see in every parameter there is growth, there is increase, whether it is we are covering the loanee applications, the non-loanee farmer applications, the total applications that are covered, insured area. So we can see about of the 34% of the gross crop area is covered under this scheme, PMFAY scheme, but we now have a target to reach out to at least 50% of this gross crop area, so that we can able to provide a good safety net to the farmers against the natural calamities. The average gross premium has also increased, average sum insured has also increased, indicating that farmers will be covering more through this sum insured, which is mainly a scale of finance, or the we can say it's a cost of cultivation that has been covered. So over a period it has been increased, and we can see also a significant increase in the average claim per benefited farmer in terms of rupees also. So it was very minuscule, but it has seen almost double the amount in under PMFBY with 102% of the increase. So I've seen, we have already discussed, it is the largest crop insurance scheme in the world and the third largest globally in terms of the gross premium that has been collected under the scheme. Next, please. So this is a broad PMFBY and RWBCS implementation cycle. The first one, in the state, there is a state level coordination committee on the crop insurance, which finalize these basics, basic framework of the scheme implementation with respect to number of crops to be included, number of areas to be identified and included, inviting tender and bidding process. So all these finalization and all other nitty-gritties have been discussed and finalized in this particular SLCCI meeting at the state level. And after that finalization, the state government invites tender and bidding process, and the L1 insurance company is then given the scope for implementation of this scheme in the allotted cluster of districts. So 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe districts that are clubbed into one particular cluster based upon the risk, whether it is a high risk area, whether it is a medium risk or the low risk. Likewise, we have these combinations, and these clusters of districts are allotted to insurance companies. Then once this notification has come out, then the state government digitize this notification into the crop insurance portal, the National Crop Insurance Portal of Government of India, and which forms this basis for enrollment of farmers under the scheme. So once this notification is live and the window is open for the Kharif and Rabi crops, then we start with the next, that is what we are doing now. It's about more of awareness, communication, training, capacity building of various stakeholders, information dissemination, so that the enrollment can be started. Once this enrollment is done, we have different enrollment channels. We have CSCs, banks, PACs, DOPs, all through which the enrollment happens. We also have the insurance intermediaries to enroll farmers. And once this enrollment is over, by 31st of July is a cut-off date for Kharif crops. Then then the crop starts growing at the field level. So in case of any calamity happens in between the growing crop, then the loss assessment is being conducted by the state government and the insurance company. And if the crop growth is normal, then at the end of the season, the crop cutting experiments are conducted to estimate the yield, which is again done by the state government and insurance company observe it. So in case of any shortfall in the PMFBY and RWBCS, then it is then computed and insurance company computed, and then the claim payment is done directly into the farmer's account. So this is a broad implementation cycle for PMFBY or RWBCS. Next. So these are the major changes that have been made when the scheme was revamped. So earlier the scheme was mandatory for loanee farmers. Now it is voluntary for all the farmers, and even the loanee farmers, they have given the choice that if they do not want to participate in the scheme, they have to given one declaration to the serving bank branch from where they have availed the KCC loan at least 7 days before the enrollment cutoff. So that they can declare that we do not want to participate in the scheme, and the bank will not deduct their premium from their loan account. And if they do not give this such kind of declaration, then premium will be deducted for the notified crops compulsory by the bank from their loan account. There is no change for the premium rates to be payable by the farmers, so it remains the same, very nominal premium for the farmers. And insurance companies are now allotted business for 3 years in the cluster of districts. So this also gives an opportunity for the insurance company to have their robust presence at the field level during 3 years. They could have a good rapport with the different stakeholders. They can associate it with the farmers. They can convince the farmers, and in case of any queries pertaining to the crop loss or the claim, etc., can be tackled by the insurance company. So government has also made mandatory for the insurance company to open the offices at the district and the block level, and to deploy skilled manpower for the scheme implementation, which works in very close coordination with the state government at the district and the block level. Next. So these are the enrollment channels that we have discussed: the banks and the PACs, Commerce Service Center, especially the village level entrepreneur, which is present at the village level, then Department of Post. Farmers can also enroll through the portal, PMFBY portal, directly on their own, and there are also insurance intermediaries that can help the farmers to enroll under the scheme. Next. So this is what, in a nutshell, we have to comprehend about the different crops, the different premium rates, their tentative cutoff dates, and from where they will get the source of information. So we have seen all the, for in Kharif and Rabi season, all the food crops, the cereals, pulses, and the oil seeds crops that are covered. In horticulture and commercial crops are covered, and the premium rates we have already discussed. The tentative enrollment date for the Kharif season is 15 to 31st of July, and for Rabi season it's 15 to 31st of December. This particular enrollment cutoff date varies from state to state, district to district, based upon the kinds of crops that are cultivated in that particular state and the district, and also depending upon the cropping pattern, right from the sowing till the harvesting. So we have this crop calendar. The states are preparing this crop calendar at the district level, and they have identified the particular window for harvesting from the cropping enrollment, right from the sowing and the harvesting. And based upon these enrollment dates vary from state to state, district to district, and crop to crop. We have the detailed information in the state government's notification about this. So that's a very primer for any kind of state specific information regarding this scheme. And these are the sources of information. They can get it from the nearest bank, common service center, insurance company, agriculture offices, and also the PMFBY portal. They will also get all this information. Next. So come about for the documents that are required for enrolling in the scheme. So we have seen here that major two types of farmers: the farmers having own land or owing the land, and the tenant farmers or the sharecroppers. So these are the there are few mandatory documents and few supporting documents. So in case of mandatory documents, the land records, the land rights, record of rights, or the land possession certificates, the Aadhaar card, updated one. Sometimes the farmers may make some changes in their name and the Aadhaar in the Aadhaar card, so that we require updated one, because during the enrollment, this farmers data in the Aadhaar gets validated at the UIID website. So if that validation doesn't happen, if there is any discrepancy, any misinformation, then the farmer's application will not be processed. And that's the reason we need to have updated Aadhaar number. So, and also, since under the DBT process, the bank, the claim of the crop insurance scheme directly goes into the bank account of the farmer, and therefore we should have a bank passbook, which is the first page of the bank passbook detailing about the bank accounts of the farmer. And of course, the correct mobile number, because many of these messages from the government of India, from the state government, from the insurance companies goes on to this mobile number. So these are the correct documents that we need to tell the farmers that they should submit during enrollment. For tenant farmers, of course, the land possession certificate, the contract agreement between the owner of the land and the tenant farmer's identity card, of course, the Aadhaar card, bank passbook. These are against the necessary documents. Apart from that, some of the state governments also come out with 1 or 2 documents like sowing certificate or the self-declaration certificate. So that also required to submit by the farmers who are enrolling under the scheme. So these particular mandatory documents, they are very important, and farmers need to provide the updated documents of all these. The government of India has also tried to have the integration of land records with some of the states who have the digitized land records. So in that case, in these states where this land record digitization and its integration has happened with NCIP, their farmer did not have to provide any land record land documents, because that is directly fetched from the state government's land record, which is already digitized. But in case of other states where that digitization has not happened, then the farmers have to provide this correct land documents. Next one. So this is broad the subsidy calculation. In case of gross premium, that there are 3 components: the farmer share, the state government share of the premium subsidy, and the government of India share of premium subsidy. So from example, we can see this. Suppose for a paddy crop Kharif season, sum insured is 20,000 rupees, and actual premium rate quoted by the insurance company is 10%, then the final premium comes out to be rupees 2,000. Since the farmer share is 2%, farmer has to pay only 400 rupees, and the rest of the share is equally borne between the state government and the government of India, that is 800 and 800 rupees. So this is how the calculation goes. So you can see a very nominal amount is paid by the farmer, and rest is taken care by state government as well as government of India. But in some of the states, like we have discussed previously also, in some of the states, these states are also taking care of farmer share of premium, where farmer did not have to pay anything, and the whole burden is being borne by the state government. Next. So this is about mathematical calculation bit to make you understand what is the benefit of the crop insurance. Can you just adjust this so that we can see the data at the down level also?
Suresh?
Can you just adjust this slide?
Okay,
Can you
okay,
go
madam.
to full screen mode? Full screen mode.
1 minute, 1 minute, madam.
Yeah, yeah.
It okay now?
No, we cannot see. There is something, the very important information at the downside.
Downside lo chala information undi కనబడతలేదు అంటుంది మేడం.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
So this is how we could able to convince the farmer that why they should go for the crop insurance. When we compare the farmer who have taken the crop insurance, the PMFBY, and other one who has not taken the crop insurance. So if you see in the 1, 2, 3, and 4 years, if suppose the farmer is enrolled under the crop insurance, he has paid a certain amount of premium in varying amounts in varying years. And sometimes the farmer feels that since we have paid this particular premium, it's a loss to us. But if you see in the 5th year, if the natural calamity happens, then the farmer is compensated against that natural calamity. So if you compare that, what is the amount that he has paid in that particular year and against the crop, the claim that has been received by him or her, then you will see the importance of the crop insurance, that they have been benefited by paying the premium, and in the year whenever there were losses, the farmer was compensated. When you compare it with the other farmers, those who have not taken this PMFBY, they consider that since we have not paid the premium, it's a profit to us, and we have saved that amount. But whenever in the 5th year, whenever such event occurs and then there's a crop loss, then that particular farmer is in the totally negative of this balance, where he's losing that crop insurance claim amount. So that is a net for both farmers who have taken the crop insurance and those who have not taken the crop insurance. But apart from this, we can also have the other consequences of this not enrolling under crop insurance, is that the farmer, since he is not getting that crop insurance claim because of any calamity that has happened and because of the crop loss he has suffered from, he has to again go to the money lender or the private money lenders and other sources to get the loan or to get the amount to for the next, for preparing himself or herself in the next season. So again, he is getting trapped into this vicious cycle of money lender, the poverty, the debt, and all. So that is what how we can enforce upon the implementation of this particular scheme, and it's important to the farmers that even though you are paying the premium in previous years and you are not getting compensated, but it is that in the event of in the year whenever this natural calamity happens, then the farmer is provided a safety net. And you can also see this is one of the very misconception among the farmers, that it's a money back policy. Many of the farmers, they feel that since we are paying the premium every year, we should get compensated every year, but it not happens. The insurance principle works in that we are the majority of the or the many of the farmers, they are contributing and we are compensating for those who have suffering the loss. So similarly, so many of the farmers, they are contributing, and in the year of losses, the particular farmer which has suffered from the loss has been compensated. So this is a broad slide that we have tried to explain how we can convince the farmer about this importance of crop insurance and why should they go for. Next, please. So this was about the scheme, and then also to address the farmers' grievances and the queries, we have the district this grievance redressal mechanism placed, very strong and robust grievance redressal mechanism that is placed under this particular scheme, where the farmers can directly submit their grievances to the district level agriculture officer, block level agriculture officer, block level insurance companies, and district level agriculture officer has to respond to the farmers within 7 days. If it is not, then it is further escalated to the district level grievance committee and the state level grievance committee. My next speaker would more talk about this and how it has been effective in the field level, that can be also explained. Next one. So this is these are some utilities on the National Crop Insurance Portal which are very handy not only for the farmers but all the stakeholders, those who want to see what are the different crops that have been notified, what is the premium rate, which is the insurance company and all. So we have this one utility called as Insurance Premium Calculator and the PMFAY portal. You go to www.pmfay.gov.in and you will find this window there, Premium Insurance Calculator, and you just have to select which is the crop, which is the season, which is the scheme, which is the state, district, crop, and the area. And next, please. And after keying in this data, you will come out with the details of the crops notified and the others things. Next slide, please. You can see then this particular, the insurance company, which is the insurance company, what is the sum insured for that crop, what is the farmer share, what is the enrollment cutoff, and how much of the amount is paid by the government, both state and the central government, and what is the amount to be paid by the farmer, all details that occur on the this particular screen, so that any farmer can have a handy information, as well as the government officials also can have a handy information. Next, please. And similarly, once that enrollment is done, insurance company goes with the scrutiny of the farmer's application with respect to the information provided by the farmer, their crops, their area, the land details, their banking details, their personal details, the crops they want to enroll under this scheme, likewise. And they come out with the successful or the approved applications come out with the one specific application number. So that application is also able to track over this PMFAY portal. Next one. So farmer has, so anyone and the farmer also can key in their receipt number. Next. and then this application status will come out. So we can have this digital information, name of the farmer, season, the source from which they have enrolled under this scheme, and whether this application is submitted, the payment has been made successfully or not, and the application is approved or not successfully by the insurance company. So with this DG claim module, we are also now adding the claim related status to this particular application status, so that farmer, once they enter their application number, they will immediately able to come to know the application right from their enrollment to the claim paid to that particular farmer. So these are the easy and handy informations sources for the farmers as well as other stakeholders. Next, please. So these are the what we have discussed, the major challenges in this scheme. So let's have a look at it. The scheme is a multi-stakeholder scheme, and there is a challenge of coordination because the scheme operates on seasonality discipline. Each and every activity has been fixed with certain timelines, and these timelines have to be met. So any delay in any by any of the stakeholder in any of the activity that have to be conducted, then it goes have a repercussions on the next level of activities that have been planned. So all the stakeholders, they have to come together at one point of time, perform all the activities according to their roles and responsibilities. So that's a big challenge that we are facing, and that's the reason we are trying to infuse more and more technology into it, so that the manual interventions in these activities can be reduced. Sometimes there is a delay in the release of the state government subsidy, which again hampers the claim settlement process. So this is also one of the challenge because sometimes sometimes the states might face a financial constraint at their level, so the financial releases are delayed. Then another challenge is a slow technological adoption at the ground level. The large number of crop pruning experiments have to be conducted for the yield assessment. Still, we do not have the robust mechanism for doing away with the crop pruning experiment, but ministry is trying to infuse the technology. We call it as a yes tech technology, and where we'll have a blended approach for use of technology as well as manual processes, and then we can come out with the possible yield estimates with a certain data or the certain averages using remote sensing technologies or the other technologies that have been used. There are disputes between state government and the insurance company on the quality of yield data, because this yield data is the main basis for the claim computation and claim settlement. So there could be the disputes, and there are various ways to resolve these disputes between the state government and the insurance company, which further delays the claim settlement process. There was a lack in digitization of historical data and the land records, but government is moving ahead. We have come out with the strong databases now on the crop insurance portal, where we have now historical data for the previous years. From 2018 onwards, we are having that data, and we are asking insurance companies and state government to use that data as a single source of data for any tendering, bidding, and other processes. And also land records, we have talked about. There are 6-7 states we have already integrated their digitized land records with the crop insurance portal, so that we can avoid various moral hazards and various adverse selections into it. Computation and the claim settlement by the insurance company, again that was a challenge which is now turned away through using a DG claim module. Real-time flow of information to the packs is again a challenge, because majority of the packs have been non-computerized, but again Government of India is taking initiative for the computerization of this pack, so that we can have minimal manual processes handled by the packs, and we can have the digitized data and information. Knowledge gap in the implementation by the scheme of the scheme by banks, field functionaries, state governments, which requires the intensive training that the government is already putting forth. And this is very key area where we need to bridge the knowledge gap with respect to scheme provisions, with respect to roles and responsibilities of each and every stakeholder and all. Another major challenge is the northeastern states, where we have low coverage. So ministry again will try to find out the ways how we can increase these enrollments under northeastern states. And one major initiative that the subsidy burden has been reduced by the Government of India. So the state governments, they have to pay only just 10%, rest 90% is now borne by the Government of India. And there is a gap in insurance literacy among the farmers. This is very, very major and which need to tackle, and the support from the state government institutions like yours, the extension education institutes, the ATMA functionaries and all. So we need to have a very concrete role in this, and we need to play important role in educating the farmers about the insurance literacy. Next. And to overcome all these challenges, we have discussed about the various initiatives that have been taken. Government comes out with regular SOPs for better administration, subsidy module, DG claim modules on the National Crop Insurance Portal. We have centralized IEC campaigns, training and capacity building support like Fasal Bima Pathshala, Meri Policy, Meri Hath, Crop Insurance Week, all at the ground level for sensitization of the farmers about the crop insurance. We are also supporting the state governments with actual premium pricing analysis and alternate risk mitigation models. Technology initiatives, estate, winds, and crop, we have seen in the previous presentation. So these are the technologies that have been giving us a concrete results with the minimal errors, with the minimal manpower or the manual interventions. And we have, government has also come out with a crop insurance app for lodging crop loss intimations in case of any natural calamity happening, CC Agri app for the yield estimation, the intermediary app for farmer enrollment, and we have a dashboard on the NCIP which is facilitating state-wise, district-wise, all the detailed information. So anybody can access it and they can have the performance of the scheme compared to previous year. So these are the various initiatives taken by the government. Next, please. So this is in a nutshell about what the PMFBY and the RWBCI schemes are, what are the challenges, what are the key areas, the premium rates, the enrollment channels, documents required. So all these I have tried to explain in my presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Pallavi Mali, Madam. Explained very detailed enrollment channels and application status, tracking, documents required, and subsidy, calculation, premium rates. So all you have explained, Madam. And also apart from that, you have explained the benefits of crop insurance and challenges of crop insurance. Thank you very much, Madam. And next speaker, Shri Venkatraman, sir. Sir is there on board? Sir, not audible.
Am I audible?
Oh, yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Okay, sir. So, sir will take a session on the role of state government, types of risk covered, responsibility of farmers, experience in field implementation. Actually, sir is a deputy director and nodal officer for Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Agriculture Department, Government of Telangana. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Government of Tamil Nadu.
Yes.
Yeah, I am very much privileged to be a part of this webinar, and I am here to discuss and highlight about the challenges and way forward in crop and weather insurance implemented in India. So it is highly imperative to broach upon this subject because many states have now come forward to evolve their climate resilient agriculture to ensure that the agricultural activities are sustained even at the time of unforeseen natural calamities and farmers' income is insulated. So actually now to say PMFBY and weather-based crop insurance scheme are the buzzword across the country and have become a boon to the farming community. Why I say it is a boon? Because the scheme provides a farmer to cover his entire operational expenses. So entire cost of cultivation is covered under the scheme. Suppose if you compare this with SDRF, for example, as per the SDRF norms, a farmer can get 13,500 per hectare for a crop loss in paddy. But at the same time, if he has insured under PMFBY, if it is 100% crop damage, he'll be getting a claim amount of about 82,000 per hectare. So even in that, there are a lot of differences. Just see in under SDRF, only when it is 33% loss, you will be getting the compensation. But under PMFBY, if it is more than 0% and up to 100%, a farmer can get his operational expenses covered. That is as per his damage, intensity of the damage. For example, if you see the 33% damage under SDRF, he will be getting only 13,500 per hectare. But at the same time, if the sum insured is 82,000 per hectare under PMFA, which is equivalent to the crop loan or the scale of finance, he'll be getting 27,000 as compensation claim. So that is the major difference between SDRF and PMFA. That is why I say that it is a boon to farmers. Albeit there are a lot of challenges at the time of implementation, a problem-specific timely panacea will definitely help in carrying the scheme forward. So to reel out some basic facts about the risk covered, role of state government, I'm just going to reel out some basic facts about the risk covered, role of state government, and what are all the responsibilities of the farmers, and what were the experiences we actually fetched at the time of implementation in the field. Sir, can you please share my PPT, sir? Role of state government.
Okay, sir. Are you sharing, sir, now?
No, already I have shared to EEI.
Okay, sir. Yes.
Thank you, sir. So we are going to see how the crop and weather insurance influences the farmer's income, how it insulates the farmer's income. At the same time, what are all the challenges being faced at the time of implementation, how to come out of these challenges. That is what we are going to discuss today. So next slide, sir. Next slide, please. So basically, the PMFA covers yield losses on area-based approach. So this is the basic doctrine of PMFA. So the insurance product covers only the yield losses as per the area-based approach. So suppose if a state wants to add on some coverages or add on or include some risk, it is well and good that they can include prevented sowing as one option, mid-season another option, mid-season adversity another option, post-harvest losses third option, and the fourth one is localized calamities. So these are all the add-on coverages to the basic cover. And if any state wants to include these risks, they can do it, but it should be specific to that particular district or the crop. Because why I say is that suppose if you are including all the risk without, so even the district may not be preferring for a prevented sowing, but the state includes prevented sowing for a district, and if it is loaded in the insurance product, automatically the premium rates will increase. So that is why I say that it should be very specific to that particular crop and to the particular district. So the district preference should be taken before notification. So here I have told about prevented sowing, mid-season adversity, post-harvest losses, and localized calamities as the add-on coverages. Now we will see it in detail. Next slide, please. Next slide. So as I told that only the basic cover is where there are yield losses due to non-preventable risk. So these are all the non-preventable risks which is covered under insurance. That is from the sowing to harvesting. So if there is a drought, dry spell, flood, inundation, pest and diseases, so all these risks are covered under basic yield losses coverage. So these are all non-preventable risks under which the insurance cover is given. Next slide, please. So the next one is add-on coverage. So I have told about 4 add-on coverage which are being covered under PMFBI. The first one is prevented sowing or failed sowing. So the prevented sowing is nothing but inability to take up sowing by a farmer. So either due to deficit rainfall or due to adverse seasonal conditions. So the farmers are not able to take up sowing. So how to notify, how to identify? Suppose if you are actually notifying an insurance unit, in that particular unit, it should be a village. Insurance unit should be a village, because this prevented sowing or failed sowing is applicable only for a major crop. So it is not applicable for minor crops. So everyone should note this, because in particular many of the trainees are here from various districts. So they sometimes inadvertently wrongly notify minor crops also. So this leads to some disputes between the insurance companies and the state government. So it is applicable only for major crops. How to identify this risk? So suppose in an insurance unit, if the farmers are not able to cover 75%, that is 75% of the area is unsown, automatically this can be notified by the district administration, that is district level monitoring committee. So this can do it, but there is a time limit, there is a time frame. So it should be 30 days from the start of sowing and not later than 15 days from the cutoff date for enrollment. So for every crop, every district will be having a enrollment date, last cutoff date. So within 15 days from the last cutoff date, the prevented sowing and failed sowing dates can be notified or fixed. And it should not be, it should be up to 30 days from the start of sowing only. You can notify this prevented sowing. Failed sowing is something after, that is before 1 month of, that is after 1 month of sowing. So it is before 1 month of, no, it's not so. It is like after 1 month of sowing. So suppose if the crops have germinated and within 1 month the crops gets dried up, then if it is 75% of the area sown is dried, then it can be notified as failed sowing. Next slide, please. So the second one is mid-season adversity. In many of the districts, in many of the states also, this type of adversity is highly faced. So for example, this Tamil Nadu is one of the vulnerable state to flood and cyclone frequently. So mostly there are inundation in many parts of the state. So in that case, this can be invoked. So when the adversity hits at vegetative stage, automatically this can be covered under insurance. But basically there are some conditions which the trainees are to be well aware of. So first thing is, it is an immediate relief. So when there is a mid-season adversity, and if the insurance is covered for this mid-season adversity, it gives an immediate relief for what are all the adverse conditions. It's like floods, prolonged dry spells, severe drought. So and in case if the expected yield is less than 50%, so it is an high estimation at first. So if the yield is 50%, less than 50%, automatically you can invoke mid-season adversity. That is, you can declare mid-season adversity. So and how the normal yield is determined, it is an average of 7 years. So this provision could be invoked for a specific crop or a group of crops. For prevented sowing, it is only for major crops. Here it is not so. And the amount payable is 25% of the likely claims at first. So preliminarily, the farmer will be getting 25% of the likely claims, and it will be subsequently adjusted in the final claims based on the yield assessment data arrived through crop cutting experiments. So for yield losses, you are going to conduct crop cutting experiments, and it is mandatory. So the final adjustment will be based on the yield percentage, loss percentage obtained through CCEs. And if the adversity occurs within 1 month of the start of normal sowing, so within 1 month of the sowing or within 15 days before the normal harvest time, this add-on coverage cannot be invoked. So this should be put in mind, because this is only for the in-between stage, vegetative stage mostly, and floods, prolonged dry spells and severe drought are the casual factors, and the normal yield should be less than 50%. Here the farmers will be getting 25% initially, and later he will be getting the final claim amount based on the yield losses obtained through, that is recorded through crop cutting experiments. Next slide. Post-harvest losses. So this is another add-on coverage which can cover crops which are required to be dried in cut and spread conditions. So whenever the crops are on the drying arm, very near to the field, and if it is in a cut and spread condition, and if it is affected due to a hailstorm, cyclone or cyclonic rains or unseasonal rains, the farmers will be getting the compensation. But it is applicable only to a maximum period of 2 weeks from harvesting. So these here also, the state government or the Department of Agriculture has to take care of a lot of things, because all the crops cannot be covered under post-harvest losses. I just want to remind that This is where the crops which are required to be dried in cut and split condition. So all the crops are not dried on the yard, are in a cut and split condition. So only few crops are done like that. So for that crops only, you will have to notify the post-harvest losses. You cannot extend for all the crops. This has to be taken care of at the time of notification. Next slide, please. So another one is localized calamities. So earlier, Ms. Pallavi Madam was talking about localized calamities in isolated farms. So wherever there is hailstorm, landslide, inundation, cloud burst, and natural fire due to lightning, so the individual farmer, his area can be compensated in case if it is a localized calamity. So it has to be notified. So this is where many farmers, so we are actually the basic doctrine of this PMFBY is only yield, that is area based approach, but there is a provision where a farmer can go for coverage of localized calamities, where if his individual farm is being affected by any one of this catastrophe or the natural calamities. But you will have to take into mind that inundation is not applicable for paddy and sugarcane, likewise jute and mesa. So these are all hydrophilic crops. So automatically it has been excluded under inundation under localized calamities. This has to be taken note of at the time of notification. So farmers actually, they may claim for inundation for paddy and sugarcane, because mostly in most of the states paddy is a major staple crop. In that case, inundation cannot be applied. So this has to be taken care of at the time of notification. So what is the role of this? Next slide, please. So what is the role of a state government for notification of these risks? First, we'll see about preventive sowing. First thing is, you will have to see whether it is necessary or not. So you will have to study, you will have to have an idea about the district and the crops sown in that particular jurisdiction or the insurance unit. Just like that, we cannot notify all the risks for each and every district and crop, because this will naturally increase the premium rates. So at present, the premium rates are on increasing trend just because of cost of cultivation, then various claim payout ratio, then increase in area coverage, area insured, number of farmers enrollment are an increasing. So all these factors will load the premium rates. So automatically, insurance companies will have a tendency to increase the premium rates. So at that time, if you include many of the coverages, that is risk add-on coverages, automatically your premium rates will likely to be increased. So in that case, you will have to see that the risks are covered based on your need. And for preventive sowing, major crops, as already I mentioned, major crops alone should be notified. And the first and foremost thing is the district should form a joint committee. So either a joint director of agriculture can be the member convener and chairman of the district joint committee. What is the purpose? It is to assess the loss. So you will have to assess the loss at the field where the preventive sowing or field sowing has to be invoked. So we have already seen that either the 75% of the area in an insurance unit is unsown, or if it gets dried up. So this district level joint committee will assess the losses, and then they will fix the compensation, or they will decide to notify this add-on coverage. So, and one more thing is, many of the districts have been vested with the responsibility of fixing the enrollment dates. Normally, as per the operation guidelines, state level coordination committee has been vested with the responsibility of fixing the enrollment dates for preventive sowing and field sowing, but it is not possible for the SLCCA to fix the date, because it is the district administration which can decide upon the crop sowing pattern as well as the crop conditions at the time of sowing, as well as it can monitor the crop cultivation, because based on the weather and climatic change, the cropping pattern may change, or the crops cultivated may, that is the period of crop cultivation may get delayed or advanced based on the local weather parameters. So in that case, SLCC cannot fix a common timeline. That is why in Tamil Nadu, we have actually divested the responsibility of fixing the cutoff date for failed sowing to the districts. So now the districts are fixing the enrollment, the cutoff date for prevented sowing and failed sowing. So the district level monitoring committee fixes the date. So it should be within 15 days after enrollment cutoff date. So this is what the operation guideline says, that immediately after the enrollment, that is cutoff date, 15 days, within 15 days, you'll have to fix the date for prevented sowing as well as for the failed sowing. So the prevented sowing, it is, my recommendation is that within 1 week of after the enrollment date, prevented sowing can be fixed, and after that 1 week, failed sowing can be fixed. So this is a normal procedure which is being adopted in Tamil Nadu. And one more thing, to my personal opinion is that normally all the states, when it goes for prevented or failed sowing date, cutoff date, see, actually there will be a peak sowing season. So the peak sowing season will end up before the enrollment, because enrollment date is fixed or 10 to 15 days before the season is over. So in that case, the cutoff date should be widely in advance for prevented sowing, because if it is extended beyond certain period, you will not be able to invoke, or you will land up in trouble. So it is better to see that the cutoff date for prevented sowing is fixed once the peak sowing season is closed. So that is where the district level, district administration has to gear up or work out. So, and another thing is, you will have to notify, the state government has to notify the seasonality discipline for each and every crop for each district. Then only we can fix the prevented sowing, failed sowing cutoff date accordingly. And at the time of beginning of the season itself, you will have to furnish the normal area sown to the insurance companies. This is because only based on the normal area sown for the previous 3 years, they will be able to conclude whether prevented sowing has happened in that particular insurance unit or not. So there will be a normal area of 100 hectares, for example, and if there is only 25 hectares covered this season, so automatically prevented sowing can be invoked. For this, you will have to provide normal area sown of the last 3 years for the particular season to the insurance companies. Next slide. Next slide, please. So other procedures are, so before invoking, you'll have to take care of all these procedures. That is month-wise, district-wise rainfall as per IMDs, long period average has to be furnished to the insurance companies. This has to be recorded, and at the time of evidence for this, at the time of invoking, you will have to give it as evidence to the insurance companies. Likewise, DLJC, that is District Level Joint Committee, which I have already mentioned. It is a committee constituted at the district level with insurance companies and other like statistics department, insurance representatives, then revenue, all can be a member of that joint committee. They can take a decision within 1 month of sowing. So the proxy indicators here are severe drought condition, dry spell, then rainfall deviation, pest and diseases incidence. So all this can be taken care of, and it has to be decided based on that. And it is highly recommended that satellite imagery can also be collected with the help of your local agricultural university or from any institutions empaneled by Government of India. So this is something which will help at a later stage, because in many of the cases in Tamil Nadu, we were able to take a decision based on the satellite imagery only. So with this, we were able to settle nearly 400 crores in one of the districts, namely Ramanathapuram in Tamil Nadu. So with this satellite imagery, we were able to drive our decision for prevented sowing and failed sowing. Likewise, the DLMC has to be apprised of the decision taken by the district level joint committee, and then their notification has to be issued as far as prevented and failed sowing is concerned. Next slide. Next slide, please. So for the mid-season adversity, the same procedure, but this provision can be invoked for a specific crop or a group of crops. So for preventive sowing, it should be for major crop alone. And for mid-season adversity, if the adversity occurs within 1 month of the start of sowing, normal sowing, and within 15 days before the normal, it cannot be invoked. Likewise, localized calamity, one has to take into mind that it is limited to the proportionate sum insured of the damaged crop area. So it is limited to the crop area damaged, and it will be in proportion to the cost of inputs. The claim payment will be in proportion to the cost of payments for inputs incurred up to the occurrence of the insured. So suppose if it is in vegetative stage or if it is in flowering stage, so to that extent only the input cost will be calculated, and for that only the insurance claim amount will be given. So the state government has to necessarily identify and notify the predetermined input cost percentage of the total sum insured for different stages of the crop. Then only it can be possible to pay out the farmer in terms of claim in case of any localized calamities. And this notification has to be in terms of sowing to harvesting, preferably at an interval of 15 days. It should be included in the notification issued by district level monitoring committee. And likewise for next slide, please. Post-harvest losses, notification has to be issued. So this information collected from the farmers has to be provided to the insurance company. This can be done through company's web link or on National Crop Insurance Portal, and the assessment should be done by the district joint committee in terms of percentage of area insured. And the individual level assessment of loss has to be done when the damage is less than 25%. If it is above, it is not necessary, but it can be a sample survey. But if the damage is less than 25%, it should be a individual level assessment. So these are all the procedures to be adopted by the state government, and there are a lot of challenges at the time of implementation, which I'll explain in detail in the coming slides. And before going to the notification part, it is highly imperative on all states to form various committees at state and district level. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, we have formed various committees at state and district level. So one is state level technical support unit, another one is state grievance redressal committee, another one is state technical advisory committee. As far as district level committee is concerned, we have grievance redressal committee at district level joint committee, district level steering committee. So all these committees have been listed with a lot of working procedures and their limits within which they are working on all activities of PMFBY. And one more important thing is a state has to do some claim calculation before going to the ICs for claim settlement, because only if the state government has an idea of claim calculation, then only we can just go and argue with any insurance companies about their calculation and your calculation. Only if it matches, then you can say that the farmers are very well paid off an eligible amount. So it should be a win-win situation for all the stakeholders. It should be a level playing platform where all are benefited and no one is left out. That is what the role of state government should be. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the responsibilities of farmers. So there are a wide gap between the extension officers and the farmers at the level of implementation. A farmer has to be well aware of all the activities under PMFBY and how to get himself involved in all the activities, or like enrollment, from the enrollment to the claim settlement. So for all this add-on coverage, the farmers have to purchase insurance before sowing by obtaining a sowing certificate. This was mentioned by Pallavi ma'am. So a sowing certificate can be obtained from a village administrative officer, and a farmer can purchase the insurance. That is, he can enroll in advance before he goes for cultivation. Likewise, the farmer should have paid premium prior to occurrence of the peril. So only if he has paid the premium before the occurrence of peril, he is eligible for that in many of the districts. So we have experienced that in many of the districts, the farmers will wait up to the environment, and he will go only if there is an incidence of peril. So we should not allow that. So in ordinarily, if you go for a motor insurance, only before the accident we are paying the premium, an ordinary person or a public. Likewise, the crop insurance should be in such a way that the farmer should not know about the adverse. There should not be any adverse selection or moral hazard. So he has to insure in advance. That is the insurance policy, which will help all the stakeholders to play a equal role in that. And the farmer's premium has to be debited before the notification is invoked or issued. And only if the exigency is invoked, the affected claims, that is the insurance unit, are not eligible for yield-based claim, and it applies for all the farmers in the insurance unit, and no fresh insurance, that is fresh enrollment, will be allowed in that. Next slide, please. So next slide, please. The farmers have to report it before 72 hours, that is before 72 hours after the occurrence of peril, and it should be through some media like mobile, landline, or social media. He can give his bank account if he is a loanee, or if a savings account for a non-loanee farmer. And he can directly inform to insurance companies either through toll-free number or centralized call center, or indirectly through various source that is enrollment sources like bank, agriculture department officials, toll-free number. Next slide, please. So in case at the time of enrollment, if the loanee farmers want to opt out, he can do it, and that is 7 days before the cutoff date, and he will be mandatorily enrolled if he is not giving an opt-out form. Likewise, it is mandatory to capture the Aadhaar number or copy of Aadhaar card and his mobile number. These things have to be maintained by the concerned banks at the time of enrollment of loanee farmers. Likewise, the farmers have to ensure that his premium details, that is, the premium is debited and emitted to the insurance companies within the cutoff date. And in fact, in Tamil Nadu, we have experienced a lot of farmers coming out with issues like late remittance, debit and late remittance. In fact, farmers are on the track of seeing that their premium is debited and remitted. So this thing has to be widely circulated among the farmers. Wide publicity has to be given to the farmers, awareness to be given to the farmers to see that the premium is debited and remitted. They have to ensure. And likewise, non-loanee farmers, when they get their receipt from the common service centers, they'll have to ensure that the details given in the in the acknowledgement receipt is matching with what the details he has given. So these things, because there are a lot of mismatches in terms of villages, crop, farmer's name, Aadhaar number, bank account number. So all these mismatches lead to delay in settlement of claim, and sometimes no claim settlement at all. So this has to be ensured before farmers have to ensure all these details, for which wide awareness has to be given. Likewise, the major problem we face is that some of the farmers, they get agriculture loan from multiple banks, and they also insure their lands, which should not be allowed. Likewise, the same land is being insured at various sources of enrollment, and this cannot be allowed, and this state government has to take a stringent action against the farmers who do such type of malpractices. In fact, Tamil Nadu has taken a wide extensive effort to curb over-insurance, and we are actually penalizing the farmer, as well as we are taking stringent action against the department officials. I mean the officials who are involved in giving fake documents to the farmers. So this has to be taken care of, and the state government should play a major vital role in this, and the farmers also should be taken responsible, they should be fixed responsible for this, and they will have to be given a wide awareness about this. Next slide, please. So this is the customary procedure for crop loss intimation through claim settlement. So already I've told that it is the farmer who has to inform within 72 hours and the designated agencies within 48 hours. So all this cover intimation has to be notified in the state notification and the post harvest losses to be notified within 14 days. So everything to be in a notified in a time frame, and within 48 hours, a loss assessor has to be appointed by the insurance company for assessing the loss. Next slide, please. So within 10 days, next slide, please. Within 10 days, the appointment, appointed loss assessor should assess the affected area. Then it has to be, the admissible claims have to be uploaded on National Crop Insurance within 7 days. And farmers verification details can be verified within 7 days of intimation of loss. So the claim payment should be made within a month. So for which it is mandatory to settle the upfront subsidy to the insurance companies and full subsidy for the post-harvest losses. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So there is a crop loss intimation module in the National Crop Insurance Portal. There is a crop loss intimation app with which farmers can intimate the loss. So this is for add-on coverage. This is for add-on coverage, and this can actually help the farmers by large means. It can address the difficulties faced in submitting physical forms, and the farmers can upload his geotagged photos and videos of damaged crop, and he can also track the status of intimations. So already this was mentioned by Pallavi ma'am. So this helps in curtailing fake claims and avoiding incomplete applications. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So these are the experiences which we faced at the time of field implementation. So there were a lot of disputes between the insurance companies and the district level monitoring committee in invoking add-on coverages. So the insurance companies actually found fault with shortage of documentary evidences, and so for which we had to provide proper documents. In fact, one of the farmer went to PM office for settlement of this settlement of claims under prevented sowing. So the insurance company did not agree for it, and later it could not be sorted out. So actually he had a complaint for his village to get a claim under prevented sowing. So then the state level PMFBSL, we actually intervened and we collected the documentary evidence, which was the responsibility of the district level administration. We collected and we made an analytical report and we submitted to the insurance company, based on which the insurance company came forward to settle the claims. It was a big success. So this has to be awarded at the field itself, and there are no awareness on the risk cover. So some of the farmers doesn't know anything about the add-on coverage. So wide publicity has to be given, or else there won't be any awareness about the prevented sowing or failed sowing. So the farmers will not be aware of this and they will not come forward for the settlement. So they may wait for the yield losses. So it is the duty of the district level committees to create wide publicity, and the add-on coverage has to be invoked before the stipulated cutoff date, and there should be proper documentary evidences, and there should not be any data insufficiency for the proxy indicators. So actually last year Tamil Nadu invoked failed sowing in Mailaduthurai district. So it was a heavy rains that lashed Mailaduthurai district, which is one of the delta districts. So we experienced total catastrophe and total calamity loss. So we invoked the failed sowing because it was like 1 month crop after sowing. So an amount of rupees 50 crores was settled by Agriculture Insurance Company. With the support of Government of India, we were able to settle 50 crores within a span of 1 month, and it was done through DigiClaim and all paid through National Crop Insurance Portal. So there was a first payment done by Tamil Nadu through National Crop Insurance Portal. So next year, for the next season, we are going to do through DigiClaim, and it will be around 1,000 crores. So it is now a big benefit that the amount is directly benefited to the credit to the farmer's account through National Crop Insurance Portal. And notification of risk occurrence should be in the proper format. We experienced in one of the district that they invoked risk only in the main village, that is revenue village insurance unit. They failed to notify the cluster villages. So automatically the company did not come forward to settle the claims for the cluster villages. We faced a big problem, and still it is an issue. So these things have to be taken care of. Next slide, please. So yield-based approach. So here where there are a lot of disputes arising between the state government and the insurance companies, like selection of CCE plots, non-intimation of CCEs, conduct of CCEs, then missing the CCE harvest, not capturing the CCEs on NCIP, non-uploading of CCE details, recording high or low value, yield value. So these has to be sorted out then and there within few days once the dispute is claimed or it is raised. So DLSC has to be, so here in Tamil Nadu, we have constituted district level steering committee, which actually plays a major role in settling all the disputes within a span of 15 days. We are choosing, and even in case if there is any missing of CCE data, I mean, if the district administration is not able to conduct the CCEs, required number of CCEs, we give two options, either to go for yield data of neighboring unit or to choose the yield data of next hierarchy. So here also the district level steering committee plays a major role and decides upon which yield data has to be chosen for calculation of claim amount. Next slide. So these are all the initiatives taken in Tamil Nadu state. So we have an exclusive administrative setup like state PMFBI and district PMFBI cell, which was established in 2018-19. We have different types of committees, state level and district level committees, which I have mentioned earlier. Next slide, please. Then we have also established facilitation centers in 37 districts for creating awareness and wide publicity. We are giving wide publicity through these facilitation centers. We are also conducting awareness campaigns in all the 385 blocks in the notified insurance units, due to which there was an impact all along from the inception of the PMFBI. Now at the latest, we have covered 88% of the farmers enrolled or non-loany farmers. And again, we see that we ensure that there is no non-infringement of scheme guidelines. So we have rationalized the enrollment dates in concurrence with the insurance companies. We are sanctioning the state share of premium subsidy within the stipulated timeline. We are also furnishing the yield data within the timeline. And so the insurance companies are not facing any difficulties at this in all these procedures. Next slide, please. So we are the first state to adopt a co-insurance model, 80-20 model. It is a proportional risk sharing basis. So the state government came forward to bear the profit or the loss in 80:20 between state and insurance companies. So we were the first to adopt this model, and you may not believe, actually we have saved nearly 300 crores during 2020-21 and 500 crores during 2021-22. This is only the state share. So I'm not mentioning about Government of India share and the farmers premium, which is being given to technology fund. Actually, due to all claim management measures as well as rationalization of all measures, we were able to save the premium subsidy of 300 crores, which was returned back by the insurance companies. So what we did is we actually distributed the risk level, like gross premium, expected sum insured, equally among all the clusters. So we have 14 clusters comprising of 37 districts. We actually segregated the high risk exposure districts and low risk, and we formed a cluster, and we also significantly reduced the crop cutting experiments because we had changed the level of notification from village to FERCA. due to which the CC is also considerably reduced from 2.27 lakh numbers to 1.35 lakh numbers. Next slide, please. So this is about the claim management measures which we operated in Tamil Nadu. So we have taken extra elaborate measures to curb overinsurance. So during 2020-21, we were able to nearly reject 1,27,039 hectares of area. So it was all duplication. And 2021-22, 87,273 hectares, and 2022-23, we are able to cull out 29,756 extent of area being under overinsurance. Next slide, please. We have also strengthened the audit process of crop cutting experiments. We have exclusive staff outsourced for conducting of CCs. We are intimating 100% of all CC schedules. And from the level of AOs to the district collectors, they are doing super check of all the CCs conducted in a district. And surprise inspection is carried out by the state PMFBSL. Then district level committee, steering committee is periodically convened to sort out any issues, and on-spot verification is also done for scientific estimation in case if the CC has not happened in that particular insurance unit. Next slide, please. So we have also adopted various technologies. So we are the first to use remote sensing technology to assess prevented and failed sowing in paddy right from 2016-17. So we utilize the help of our Tamil Nadu Agriculture University. So they were a pioneer in developing a project called remote sensing based information and insurance for crops in emerging economies. So that is called as RISE project. So all these rationalization measures had an impact on our overall successful implementation of PMFBY. So we were able to decrease the claim compensation, which was something shooting up to 326 in the first year, and now it has come down to 47%, which we ensured that the eligible farmers alone are getting compensated. So next slide, please. So this is our action plan for 23-24. We are going to implement 60-130 cup and cap model. So we are the first to adopt this, and we will be implementing in all the clusters. We are also going to adopt yield estimation system based on technology in paddy. Then again, we are going to do some standard operating procedures for monitoring insurance coverage, like identification, deletion of farmer applications with over insurance, then rejection of duplicate and fake applications. Again, whatever I mentioned about CC procedures, same thing will be continued in the 2023-24. Next slide. The highlight of our action plan is on integration of land records with National Crop Insurance Portal. So now we are developing a portal called Grains. It is nothing but growers' online registration of agriculture input system. This is where all the farmers' databases will be. This is nothing but a compendium of all farmer database. So here we'll be providing a validated data of farmer, land, and crop, which will be shared digitally to the central portal of PMFBY to facilitate registration of farmers for crop insurance. What we'll do is we'll collect there are 3 types of registry under this Grains portal: farmers registry, geo-referenced village map registry, crop survey registry. And under farmers registry, we'll be collecting all the farmers details, including their Aadhaar numbers, survey, subdivision number, patta number, and their extent. Then we'll geo-reference all the village map, and we have about 16,721 revenue villages to access digital geofence land parcels of the individual farmer. And this will be again down to the crop survey register, that is in link to crop survey register, where this georeferencing of land parcels will be integrated with farmers database, and this will facilitate in digital crop survey using geofencing. So this is the highlight of our action plan. So by this, we'll be able to ensure that only the eligible farmers are enrolled under this scheme and getting benefited. And we are also going to open an escrow account, where we'll be depositing 50% of the amount upfront subsidy, so that the insurance companies will be quite confident about the state government's responsibility of settling the premium subsidy in time. So normally the government of Tamil Nadu allocates 2,300 crores for premium subsidy every year. So this year also we have allocated 2,337 crores for implementation of PMFA during 2023-24. So we hope that this scheme will be a benefit to all the farmers of the across the country, and we assure that there will be a successful implementation in the coming years also. Thank you very much.
Raman sir, for your detailed explanation. Sir, you have explained very detailedly regarding the stages of risk covered from sowing to harvesting, and role of state government, and also customary procedure for crop loss and crop loss intimation claim, and also claim management measures and experience in field level implementation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Next speaker, Srimati Shobha Patil. Madam, you are there on board?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, madam. Madam, she'll take session on role of state government on dispute management with insurance companies and grievance readdressal and experience in field implementation. Actually, madam is an assistant director and nodal officer, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Agriculture Department, Government of Karnataka. Madam, your time is only 15 minutes, madam.
Yes, sir.
Over to you, madam.
A very good afternoon to all. Today I'm here to present about the dispute management and the grievance redressal and how we have implemented the scheme in Karnataka. I hope the screen is visible to all.
Madam, screen is visible.
Yes.
You can carry on.
So what is a dispute management? I want this session to be interactive rather than one way. I want this session to be interactive. So a dispute management, it is a process of identifying and resolving the issues that may occur in the process. It involves both proactive as well as reactive measures. Let's see the different facets of dispute management. It is the impact of disputes because dispute resolution should be considered a priority in PMFBY because delay in dispute resolution will lead to farmer distress. We have to identify the issue just to evaluate whether it is valid and actionable. And in PMFBY, resolving disputes is quite time consuming because the claim related and CC related issues require individual assessment. And continual analysis is needed because we have to understand the dispute trends and patterns and the complexity of the resolving issues because we have to carefully craft and identify and address at each stage. And disputes, as you all know, disputes are part of PMFBY cycle. So one such dispute, one such challenging dispute, which I would like to quote is, earlier there was a mismatch in the details of the acknowledgement copy and the details captured in the portal, for which the cause was analyzed and it was a case of tampering. So for which the guardrail was placed on this aspect by introducing the QR code in the feature in the portal, thus reducing the disputes. So why we have to document the dispute and resolution? Because it is for future reference. And how to prevent future disputes, how we prevented future disputes. To quote an example, earlier people insured government lands as well. To prevent this, department flagged the land captured in the portal as government lands and private lands. Government lands were blocked from insurance. With this, the future disputes are prevented and before they occurred, thus reducing the potential losses. So what are the tips for dispute management? We'll have to keep it minimum so as to ensure the stakeholder satisfaction. And this is necessary for the successful implementation of the scheme. The chart shows about the procedures to be followed in different yield dispute cases. One of the major issue which I would like to highlight is about the less number of CCs. When the requisite number of CCs are not conducted, then you will have to refer to the yield at next higher unit or the adjacent insurance unit. So wherever the yield data is reported at insurance unit level is abnormally high or low, then the IC can make use of the satellite-based vegetation index and the weather parameters. And if the IC witnesses that the actual yield, if there is any anomaly in the actual yield, then it should be brought to the notice of the state government within 7 days, and it is the responsibility of the state government to resolve that issue within the next 7 days. And if there is no anomaly reported, then it can be considered that the IC has accepted the yield data. So how is the stack composed? If any disputes are unresolved, then the matter will be referred to State Technical Advisory Committee. The stack is chaired by Secretary Agriculture Department with members from State Agriculture Universities, SR State Remote Sensing Center, Indian Meteorological Department, Directorate of Economics and Statistics, and ICR. So during the earlier years of implementation, there were various types of disputes noticed, which led to unnecessary delay in the claim settlement. One such dispute was between the insurance companies and banks. This was because of the errors, omissions, and commissions of the financial institutions. A committee was constituted under the chairmanship of Additional Chief Secretary and Development Commissioner to examine the issue. Several rounds of meetings were held, and both the parties were given enough time and opportunity to get the issues resolved. Banks took a stand that premium was remitted to the insurance company, though there was a delay in remittance. And at the same time, insurance company had not refunded the premium back to the banks for the proposals which were not accepted by the insurance company. Both the parties were at fault, because of which farmers suffered. And there was no provision in the guidelines about the penalty for the late remittance of the premium by the banks. So here, few proposals which were rejected by the insurance companies, as the banks had not submitted the debit proof to the insurance companies at the time of audit. And later, once the banks were given an opportunity to submit the debit proof, once the debit proof was submitted, insurance companies accepted the proposals, and the committee recommended insurance company to settle the claims to the farmers. And for those cases where the banks had not remitted the premium or had delayed the remittance, the concerned financial institution was made liable to pay the admissible claims. Here, Government of India issued directives to the concerned for compliance to the state decision, and with the support and coordination from Ministry of Agriculture, it was possible that the banks settled claims of around 15 crores to the farmers. Another interesting dispute which we had faced was about the dispute regarding the claim settlement for mid-season adversity. So this issue went long for an year, and after an year, finally the issue was resolved. So this was regarding the claim settlement for the mid-season adversity invoked. The dispute was between a group of farmers and the insurance company. And the insurance company had complete data about the weather parameters, which they didn't reveal. And ICs thought that the farmer perception was wrong and the crop loss couldn't have happened. This was in case of paddy. So as paddy is a hydrophilic crop, so what insurance companies think that the crop loss couldn't have happened. But it was a case of logic and fact. Though paddy is a hydrophilic crop, much beyond too much will definitely affect the crop. So the farmers disputed based on the facts, and the insurance companies were strong on the figures. So here the stack, how this matter was referred to stack for dispute resolution, and IC was of the opinion that the loss is to the tune of 25 crores, and the farmers were of the opinion that loss is to the tune of 75 crores. But somewhere the insurance companies settled the claims somewhere in between. Here, the revised operational guidelines didn't come to rescue, the law didn't come to rescue, but the unbiased weather data, which was bought from KSNDMC, helped us to resolve the issue. This way, the issue was resolved by stack. So if the issues are not resolved at stack, then they will be further escalated to Technical Advisory Committee. So Technical Advisory Committee comprises of representatives from Directorate of Economics and Statistics. They will review all the technical matters related to the execution of the scheme, and as and when necessary, additional members will be included based on the case-to-case basis. Additional members may be drawn from ICAR, IRI, NRSC, and other institutions. So once the issue is referred to TAC, what is the data that the state government has to provide to TAC? So one is CC's data of the contested area, which should be geo-referenced, and it should be in Excel sheet, and it should be digital format. And the next important is long-term, that is minimum 10 years data of crop level at GP level. If it is not available at GP level, then it can be provided at Hobley level. Next is village level crop area estimates. And again, long-term data of weather parameters at GP level, that is minimum 10 years. And report of any analysis. If state has carried out any analysis, that should be to support its claim, then that can be provided to the technical advisory committee. The weather parameters should cover rainfall, number of rainy days, and temperature. And any information about pest and disease attack or any natural man-made disasters, that can also be provided by the state government to the TAC. So what is the data that has to be provided by the insurance company if the matter is referred to TAC? So here the insurance company has to provide the co-observed CCs collected by insurance companies, the weather observatories if it is sourced, especially in the contested area, and technical analysis carried out by the insurance company so that it should support its claim, and detailed reasons for the yield data being perceived as contested. So if the yield data is contested, the insurance companies have to provide the details, and any UAE data can also be provided by the insurance company if available. So what are the matters that are resolved by TAC? Only those issues which have been considered by STAC but could not be resolved at state level will be escalated to TAC. And to be precise, if there is more than 25% difference between the yield estimated by the state government and the ICs, then the matter will be referred to TAC. Similarly, if there is sufficient evidence that CCs are not being conducted required numbers in at least 20% of the area of the insurance units in the cluster, then it can be referred to TAC, and IC should have already carried out the technical analysis. So one example, to quote an example, which was resolved by TAC is about the yield dispute in multi-picking crops. So as the name itself suggests, it is the crops like tomato and chili are the multi-picking crops. Here, in crops, STAC, the issue was escalated to STAC, and STAC derived a formula to arrive at claims. But what did the farming community do? The farming community accepted the formula for tomato crop and not for chili crop. So a formula will not be designed for a particular crop. And again, there was disagreement between the concerned parties and the matter stood unresolved, and it was referred to TAC along with all the relevant documents along with the proceedings of the meeting. So once the formula shared by STSC STAC was adopted, it showed that the claims which were to the tune of 38 crores was reduced to the tune of 37 lakhs. So the farmers were not ready to accept. So finally, the issue was referred to TAC. Another interesting example which I would like to share with you all is about the paddy yield versus rice yield. Here the issue was seen because the historical data was provided in rice terms and was reconverted into paddy terms by applying the conversion factor of 2/3. Here it was a bona fide error because it was the first year of implementation. The threshold data was provided. According to ICs, government was wrong and the farmers were not bothered. So there was no remedy, and finally TAC suggested a formula to convert the yield data from paddy to rice and rice to paddy, vice versa. This was how the issue was resolved by TAC. So if the issues are not examined by TAC or not resolved by technical advisory committee, then the issues will be escalated to technical agency. So what is this technical agency? It is the organizations such as MNCFC, State Application Center, ISRO, NRSC, and ISRI, Indian Meteorological Department, and IRI. And technical agency will compulsory take the inputs from the concerned State Department and IC, and may also opt for representatives of other organizations with the permission of chairman of TAC. So what are the suggestions to avoid the dispute? The first suggestion, of course, will be CC should be conducted following the standard procedure. And what I would like to share here is in Karnataka from 2016 onwards, all the CC, 100% of the CCs are conducted using the mobile app. And the second most important suggestion to avoid dispute is technology should be used for more accurate crop yield estimation. We have been implementing SST smart sampling technique, and this Kharif 2023 will be implementing STEC model also. And the third most important suggestion is it should be resolved using technical support from the agriculture universities, and IC should proactively get involved with the state, and they should supervise the CCs, and they should invest. Insurance companies should also invest in the use of technology to support the loss assessment. And finally, there should be a better coordination between the stakeholders, especially the states and the grievance. It is a complaint made by a farmer to resolve the disputes and which requires the department to take further action. And it is an injustice to the sufferer, and this gives just a ground for a complaint. So how this grievance redressal, how to deal with the grievances? The grievances have to be properly addressed, and they are inevitable, and they are part and parcel of any organization. And it is grievance redressal is very important to track the number and frequency of grievances. The better it is run, the lesser will be the number of grievances. And one should address the grievances swiftly to ensure a high level of trust, especially with the farmers, who is the ultimate stakeholder. In this picture, years and seasons. So it will help the quick processing of the farmer grievances. One has to inquire and investigate. So we have to inquire in the view of farmer's point of view. We can ask them what is the root cause of the issue. Finally, once you reach a conclusion, we have to take a decision which is the best, and then act on the resolution. How to review the situation? We have to decide on the relevant time interval and review the situation if any further intervention is required, and further we have to act accordingly. Analyze and plan ahead. We have to retrospect and gather insights about different issues, and we have to plan and prevent the same problems in future. So how the grievance redressal mechanism works? So many speakers have already briefed about this. This is the implementing state, and the empaneled IC should set up a robust grievance redressal mechanism with the requisite infrastructure at tehsil level, and to each district should have a district level and tehsil level grievance redressal committee to record and respond to the grievances within 7 days. So the data, as you can see, the screen shows the different grievances, number of grievances handled by different committees set up in Karnataka. As you can see, block level grievance redressal, major grievances are received. So I would like to share something here. In Karnataka, crop survey integration is done with the insured data. That is, the crops are the insured crop. The claims will be settled to the insured crop provided it matches with the crop survey data. That is, if the farmer has sown the crop, then the eligible claims will be provided to the farmer. So in case there is mismatch, the proposals will be rejected. Once the proposal is rejected, Then the farmers, then the TGRC committee, that's Taluk level, Tehsil level or block level grievance redressal committee will come into action, and they will decide about the acceptance or rejection of the proposal based on the cropping pattern in the Tehsil and the previous year crop survey data. And the farmer is also given a chance to produce a proof about for having grown the insured crop. In case of dissatisfaction, the matter will be brought to DGRC. So this is how the claims are settled in Karnataka. Though the number of grievances are more, but at the same rate, the grievances are also resolved. So district level grievance redressal committee. So how it functions. So it is constituted for redressal of grievances of all the stakeholders, important stakeholders like banks, insurance companies, and it is headed by district magistrate or collector and representatives of the farmers. Further, they may invite the specialists from the university. And they should DGRC should dispose the matter within 15 days. In case of disagreement, then it will be escalated to SGRC. So likewise, like a TGRC, SGRC is also constituted for redressal of grievances. And SGRD officers at rank of the secretary or director can register and dispose of the grievances. It is headed by Secretary of Agriculture Department, Secretary of Nodal Department, and SGRC also will dispose the grievance within 15 days of the receipt of the grievance. And the decision of the committee shall be accepted by all the parties. How the grievance redressal is done by the insurance company? They will put in place effective grievance redressal mechanism like a centralized call center, toll-free center, and they will participate in all the TGRC meeting, DGRC and SGRC meetings, and they will directly, if any complaints are received from the farmers, that will also be addressed by the insurance companies, and they will have to dispose the grievance within 7 days of receipt. This is the PMFY journey in Karnataka state. So how we launched in 1617, and we were the first state to conduct 100% of the CCs through mobile app. And 1718 Aadhaar was made mandatory for enrollment. 1819 revised operational guidelines were issued by Ministry of Agriculture. This is the year where we integrated crop survey with crop insurance. And 1920 Aadhaar based payments were made, that is real-time settlement was captured. The complete details were, all the details like enrollment status, proposal status, claim settle details, and all those details were automated, thus reducing the queries or grievances to a much less extent. Revamped in 2021, the journey revamped PMFY guidelines were issued and a scheme was made voluntary. And in this year, so localized and post-harvest claims were also settled through the portal. And 21-22 nominee details were captured along with the enrollment data. And smart sampling technique was implemented in the state, and for all the death cases also claims were paid to the nominee. 22-23 nominee details are captured in the portal at the time of enrollment, and government lands were blocked from coverage. And coming to Kharif 2023, we will be implementing STEC. So this is how the real-time disbursement of claims of PMFY. The claims are settled directly to Aadhaar linked account, and this is tracked. This is sent through SMS to the farmer, and the farmer can track the claim status from the portal, and it is the real-time monitoring of the claim settlement is done by the state. So the pendency, only 0.67% of the claims are pending over the last 7 years. So this is all about PMFY implementation in Karnataka. So over to the audience. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise questions.
Participants, please, if you have any doubts, you can clarify. Nobody is responding.
Sir, can we take questions later? There is one small
Okay.
presentation now left from the insurance company,
madam.
and then
Okay,
we can
okay.
open it for question answer.
Last session will be the question and answer session. Okay.
Yeah, I have done justice to my presentation and I have finished
Thank
in
you.
time.
Thank you very much, Madam Shobha Patil, Madam. Nice presentation, and you have covered everything, Madam, regarding grievances at the district level and how it will works, and how the issues would be resolved regarding the insurance companies. Thank you very much, Madam. Next speaker, Madam. Next speaker, Dr. P.R. Prasiddha. Madam, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Madam will take the session on role of insurance companies, pharma application process and claim calculation, claim settlement, experience in field implementation. Actually, Madam is in a state head business development, Agri Insurance Company of India, regional office, Thiruvananthapuram. Over to you, Madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I feel really happy to be in the midst of all this torchbearers of this scheme. So this is a flagship scheme of Government of India, which is quite highly effective among the farming community. And the panel of speakers also the stalwarts with the scheme. So I really feel happy for this. So the role given to me is to present about the role of insurance companies with respect to PMFBY. The topics which should be covered are pharma application process, claim calculation, claim settlement, and our experiences in field implementation. So in all these topics, along with the field implementation experiences, I'll share the discussion. And in fact, the farmer application process and the major claim provisions has been already discussed by the earlier speakers. Venkatramanan sir explained about the various claim provisions in detail, and Pallavi ma'am has explained about the farmer application process. So we saw that the various channels for insurance are bank, intermediaries, common service centers, and this is the major channels, like the farmer can directly enroll in the scheme through app or website. So this is nothing complicated for officials who are not so clear about the scheme. This is something like an IRCTC. We just book the train ticket. We have lots of users in IRCTC portal. At the end of the day, like railway is accessing the portal, maybe users are accessing it, and finally we are getting the ticket just in the click. So the same, almost it's as easy as that. So when the farmer is entering, farmer is presenting his details to various channels, what is the role of insurance company? Here, insurance company is having just 3 roles. Either if all the details are correct, insurance company can approve the application. If there is some error, only in case of CSC, only in case of Common Service Center, then the insurer can revert the application for resubmission. And last is rejection. If it's the gross mismatch, whether whatever the details keyed in and the supporting documents are completely incongruent, then the insurance company can reject the application. Next is, this is in a nutshell what happens in the bank enrollment process. So the earlier speakers told that the farmers, for the loany farmers, it is voluntary. It is voluntary now. Yes, earlier it was compulsory, but now it is voluntary. So if a farmer who has availed a loan in bank is not willing to insure his crop, he can submit an opt-out form. So he can submit the opt-out form before there is a cutoff date. That is before the enrollment cutoff date. Before 7 days before that, he has to submit the opt-out form. However, if a farmer is not submitting an opt-out form, then the banker is supposed to cover the crop loan. This banker is supposed to debit the crop insurance premium. So finally, now the other thing, the other portion, that is the non-loany farmers. The non-loany farmers now, if the non-loany farmers and the loany farmers whoever is not willing to give an opt-out form and who are interested to enter into the scheme, so what they can do is like they'll contact the loany farmers. They need not contact the bank officials. Bank officials themselves will debit the premium, and they will generate a challan. This in NCIP portal, they'll generate a challan. Challan is, again, it is not a rocket science. It's again, all these are automated procedures. The challan would be generated and the requisite premium would be credited by the bank through PayGov to the insurance company. So again, after the premium payment in the insurer's login, you can see 2 options. If the payment is paid by the banker, then it would be showing as pending, and if the payment is not paid by the banker, it will be showing as fresh. So here, what would a proactive insurer would do is, if the screen shows, like if there are 4 or 5 banks which have some 10 or 15 applications which is remaining in fresh state, then the insurance company official will call directly the banker and will inform them that such applications are in fresh status. Is it really they have forgotten to do the payment, or that's really an insurance which needs to be done? So if it is not required, they'll ask them to delete it in their end, or else they'll ask them to make the payment. So after making the payment, then here insurance company again will check whether the payment is done for whatever area insured, and they will approve the application. Here I would like to inform you that with respect to banks, we don't get the individual document verification. Like the documents are not submitted here. It is only the details. Why? Because the banker, while giving the loan itself, in their end, they'll scrutinize all the documents. That is the reason the individual documents are not furnished with respect to bank enrollment. Now let's see about the underwriting controls with respect to Loni Pharma coverage. One thing is random bank record verification. So though we receive everything in a national crop insurance portal, it is mandatory that insurer has to do some random bank record verification. We have to visit the banks physically. We have to see the bank records, whatever entry we have received and whatever bank records is available. We have to do a bank. This isn't random. Not necessarily everything has to be done. Next thing is verification of applications with extraordinarily huge area insured. Say, for example, I'm downloading a report from a portal. I'm seeing the bank coverages. And if I'm finding 3 applications, the total area insured under 3 applications is 150 hectares, then there is something suspicious. So mostly in such cases would be, sorry to say that such cases normally we have absorbed in private banks, and this would be land development loans. The land development loans issued might have been insured. So here actually the scheme is meant for crop loan. Only the crop cultivated, the loans have been taken by the farmer for the crop cultivated by him. It is supposed to be insured under PMFBY. So here we have to alert the banker and we have to ask them to delete it, and we have to also parallelly inform such things to the state government. So next is notification upload in NCIP time adjustment with respect to overlapping crops. Overlapping crops in the sense might be in certain states. In one season, you'll have more than one crop. Like in Tamil Nadu, we have 3 different types of paddy. Like we have paddy, Samba, Thaladi, and Pishana, Kuruvai, Samba, and Thaladi. Likewise, in Kerala, we have again 3 types of paddy. We have Virippu, Munjagan, and Punda. And so this is like what we have to do is in in states like Kerala, like what we have to do is we have to inform the state government to normally what would happen is the banker might there is a chance that banker might click a wrong crop. Like in case of Rabi, both Rabi winter and Rabi summer is notified. So by mistake, there are chances that the banker might click Rabi paddy summer instead of paddy winter. So we can ask the state government to adjust the notification. So we can ask the state government to inform Government of India parallelly, and when as long as that enrollment time for paddy winter is there, we can ask them to stop doing any provision for paddy summer. So once if the banker is doing after the cutoff date of paddy winter, then paddy summer window can be opened. Next is focused random verification of historically malpractice happening banks. So there would be certain districts, certain crops, and certain banks where this malpractices are happening. So that can be randomly verified. Then next is awareness to the bankers. Pallavi ma'am was talking in detail about the various awareness measures taken by Government of India. So that is one of the main reasons why that we have seen that in non-loaning farmers, that has increased, the tune of coverage is increased up to 732%. The main reason is the awareness. So while giving awareness to bankers, it is a compulsory thing. Like we have to tell them what are the effects which is caused due to any minor mistakes. That might be a minor mistake, but it will cost so high. Like in case of incorrect crop notification, like incorrect crop while they're entering, as I told, there would be a different claim for paddy winter and paddy summer. So here, a farmer who is getting more claim, he will not make an issue. But when a farmer is getting a less claim, then definitely he will take up the issue. So the effect of such incorrect crop entry should be alerted to the banker. Then effects of delayed premium payment. So the premium should be paid within the stipulated time. So there is a cutoff date, and the premium is supposed to be paid before that. So that should be alerted to the banker. Then we were discussing about the opt-out provision. So there is an opt-out provision, but it is not necessary that every time we have to insist the banker that we can inform the banker there is an opt-out provision. At the same time, it is the duty of every stakeholder to inform the banker that though there is an opt-out provision, we have to convince the banker how you mean this particular scheme, how PMFBY is getting, farmers are getting benefited out of PMFBY. How can we convince the banker? Like we can show him the past year's coverage and claim ratios. We can show them in their particular district what are the crops covered and what are the claims received by the farmers in which are the years. So if there is a calamity year, and in calamity year when there is a huge claim outgo, we can show them that how this particular scheme has helped their farmers. So only if you are able to impart this knowledge to the bankers, they will be also interested in insuring the crop loans. So the main thing is like the point here is, though there is an opt-out provision, it doesn't mean that we have to insist them on opt-out provision and tell them that there is some way out for them to escape out of this PMFBY task. Rather, we have to tell them that how important the scheme is. So next is definitely bankers will be knowing about Aadhaar seeding. We have to inform them this Aadhaar seeding is important because the claim payment is automatic here. So Aadhaar seeding is very much important. So next is CSC enrollment. CSC enrollment process. CSC is the most preferred channel partner. Why? Because of its wide presence in villages. In every village you will see a CSC, and they have a very high infrastructure. They have the printers, scanners. They have computers with internet connectivity. And most of all, the moment a farmer is going for his enrollment, the CSC VLE, village level entrepreneur, will issue the acknowledgement come receipt handy. So that is something which farmers are also really interested with CSC. And one more thing is, on the financial perspective, the service charges or the commission given for CSC is very less. So this would help to, this will not dump on the premium. So that is one good thing about CSC. And from farmers' perspective, as I told you, the infrastructure is the main thing. So what would CSC do? So farmer will go to the CSC village level entrepreneur. He will submit all the mandatory documents. Then he will give all the whatever details are given in the mandatory documents. Based on that, the village level entrepreneur will key in the details in the portal. Then there is a CSC wallet, like how we have the wallets in, we have in Amazon and everything. Like we have, they will top up the wallet, and whenever each farmer comes, accordingly they will debit the premium. So from the wallet, the amount will be transferred to insurance company. Again, this process is done through PayGov. And finally, if all the enclosed documents, if all the attached documents are found to be matching with the whatever entry they have given, then insurer will approve the application. In case if there is any mistake, then say for example, if the entry done is for 10 hectares and whatever document they have submitted is for only for 5 hectares. In that case, what would be happening is like the insurance company will revert the application. They will inform the VLE that they are supposed to upload the other balance 5 hectares document, and then the particular application would be, after resubmission, if everything is correct, the application would be uploaded. If in the first instance itself, if everything is correct, then the application would be uploaded there itself and the policy would be issued. So based on whatever entry is to be done, these are the major sections. The bank details has to be entered, the personal details in the sense their Aadhaar number, their name, then crop related details, village name, survey number, and all these things, and uploading the mandatory document. So the mandatory document, in the sense every state will have their own mandatory documents. So as Venkatraman sir was clearly explaining, these things should be notified during the process of notification itself. Like in some states, in some districts, there would be, in the districts adjoining the forest lands, there would be some provision like government land would be leased out to farmers, and farmers would be doing the cultivation in the government forest land. So here there might not be any normal land documents for those people who are actually cultivating, but they are cultivating in a forest land with government permission. So we have to identify what is the document available for them, and accordingly we have to notify those things. In some districts there will be a practice of tenant cultivation or leased cultivation, but there will not be any proper lease document. So here again we have to go for some crop zone certificate, which is issued by agriculture officer. So all these things should be notified. Whatever is the mandatory document, that can be notified by the state government at the time of notification. Next is farmers premium payment through wallet. So these are the major sections. So when we discussed about the documents, we're discussing it, and the main thing is a bank passbook. So as a part of bank detail, they are submitting the bank passbook first page. Here it is mandatory. For the sake of uploading, it should not be uploaded. It should be clearly readable and visible. So like how we are applying for examinations, this portal also mandates some file size, something around 2 GB. So that 2 MB, I guess. So that should be clear. The main agenda is it should be clearly readable and visible. So that is to be informed to every CSE VLE. And one more thing is, while they are uploading the documents, we have to ask them to wait for 1 or 2 seconds, because due to some connectivity issue at their end, at the end of CSE VLE, it might look as if they have uploaded the document, but then from the insurer side, it will not be visible. So that thing should not happen. And one more thing which we have observed is what they would do is to satisfy the mandatory compliance, they would merely upload a plain paper. So that should also not happen. So the effects of all these things should be informed to the CSE VLEs. Then second thing is the correct mobile number. So here the mobile number entry is important. It should be entered in the NCIP, and we have to inform that the correct mobile number of the farmer should be updated in the NCIP portal. So some specific underwriting practices. Why do we mention it as specific underwriting practices? Because we know there is a cutoff date. Say for example, if it is July 31st for Kharif. So if it is the cutoff date, it's a human tendency, especially in India. What happens is, if there is a cutoff date, until that last moment, we'll be waiting. Even if it is an income tax filing, we'll be waiting till the last moment, though whatever messages we get. The same way, farmers are no different. Like if 31st July is the cutoff date, we will have the major coverage only in the last 1 week. So farmer will be flocking in the CSE centers, and all the entries would be done at the last moment. So now again, we have all the process has a time frame here in NCIP, and ministry is so strict in this, and the portal would be closed within soon after the enrollment cutoff date. So here, what ideally should be done at the insurance company side is, so when we receive huge applications, we have to prioritize in underwriting. When I say underwriting, the term is nothing like Greek and Latin. It is simply the process of checking the applications, like whatever details are keyed in the application or in the portal, and with the mandatory documents, we have to cross-verify it. That is called underwriting. So in simple layman's parlance, this is what is underwriting. So what we have to do is, we have to prioritize it. So we have to download the CSE reports. We have to categorize it area-based. If it is more than 10 hectares, first we have to check those applications. Then accordingly, we have to come down. Next is that is what the priority-based underwriting to meet seasonality deadlines, yes, and land document verification. So land document verification is very important. As I told in CSE, the mandatory document is uploaded, and those documents to be verified thoroughly. Then again, state and district specific underwriting. So of course, a state, it should be in the same state only, but then district specific, certain districts are prone for moral hazards. So by virtue of our experience, we will know which districts are prone for moral hazards, and those districts we have to underwrite first. Then we have to impart the awareness to VLEs regarding the timelines and the accuracy of document entry. Then regarding intermediaries, so though CSE is one of the major service partner, major channel partner, we also have provision for intermediaries. Intermediaries means they're brokers, micro insurance agents, and point of sale persons. So the entry part is it's almost similar to CSE only. But here there are some IRDA sum insured cap. Say for example, POSP. So they have a sum insured cap of almost sum insured cap of 1 lakh for a farmer application, per farmer application. So we have to ensure that no POSP is insuring a farmer with a sum insured more than 1 lakh. So those checks should be carried out by insurance company. And one more thing is, now all these channels, after underwriting, after enrollment, after finishing of the season, immediately we have to pay the timely remuneration. If it is banks, we have to pay their 4% bank service charges. If it is intermediaries, there we will have an agreed MOU between the brokers and insurance company. So whatever brokerage is told, that should be paid timely. Next is online enrollment process. This is again earlier it was very less number of farmers used to come by online. Now these days, yes, there are more number of farmers doing online enrollment, and we can see some like some farmers' children who are educated, who are staying in some cities elsewhere. They used to call us and ask about online enrollment for the sake of their parents. So that is something which is really cool. And online enrollment can also be done. That can be done in PMFBY app, PMFBY portal. So they can fill the details, just like how CSC was done. They can update all the mandatory documents. They can upload all the documents. They can pay the premium, and if all the documents are found to be correct, then insurance company will approve the application. Here, unlike CSC, there is no revert option. The logic being, CSC VLE is doing the entry. He's doing the entry for lots of farmers. When it is online, I am doing the entry for my application. So there is no chance for an error. I mean, I'm not supposed to make any error in it. So that is why there is no revert option for online farmers. So deduplication, after receiving all the entries from all the different channels, that is after the cutoff date, then there should be an exercise of deduplication. First one is land record based duplication. So Venkatraman sir was talking about the overinsurance. Overinsurance in the sense, same farmer, he will be insuring through multiple channels. So he'll have one piece of land which he is insuring through bank, he is insuring through CSC. So he's insuring through intermediaries. So this deduplication exercise at insurance company will cull out all such issues. So how do we do it? When it is land record based deduplication, we check the survey numbers, village name, and the farmer name. So if we concatenate farmer name, village name, and survey number, we can identify who are the people who have repeatedly insured it. Then accordingly, we will identify the thing, and if it's a genuinely, if someone has done multiple insurance, then there are two ways. I mean, in this case, we'll inform the state government. We will not accept the premium in the other channels. Only from one channel the premium would be accepted. And PMFBY operational guideline clearly states that if such malpractice has been done, the premium can be forfeited. Now, otherwise, like the other thing is, like sometimes by mistake, as I told you, the CSC might have enrolled some application with a higher area. So in that case, we can take a clarification. And the premium refund should be made to the farmer. If the proposal is rejected, if the proposal is not approved by insurance company, and if it is rejected, Shobha ma'am was saying about the disputes which has happened due to untimely refund of premium. So the premium refund should be done then and there immediately. Then whenever there is an excess area insured through banks, the communication should also be informed to banks and state government as well. So now the entry portion has done from the various channel partners. All the entry has come to insurance company. So insurance company has approved it. What next? It would be the policy issuance. In CSC, when they do the enrollment, immediately they'll be given an acknowledgement. That is in fact really helpful. So Venkatraman sir was very specifically mentioning that farmers have to verify whatever details is being printed in that document which is given by the CSC VLE. That is exactly right. So they should check whether the village name, crop name, survey number, crop area, all those things are given correctly keyed in by the CSC VLE. So that is an acknowledgement. Apart from that, like how if we do an LIC, we definitely will be more eager to have a policy, because we need, for an IT rebate, we definitely need a policy. The same way, farmer is also, he's also eligible for his policy document, and that is why Government of India has brought this Meri Policy, Meri Hath initiative. So in this, what we would do is we would give the farmers their policy. We will soon after the enrollment cutoff date, immediately on priority basis, whenever immediately maybe within another 20-25 days, maximum of 1 month's time, we'll generate all the policies. We will not wait till the last moment till generating all the policies. Whatever is getting generated, immediately we'll start dispatching it. We will go to the field. We'll hand it over to the farmer's doorstep. So this is something which is which actually makes us happy, because we go to the farmer, we hand it over in their hand, and you can see some photographs of that. So next is claim calculation. Actually, the claim provision was in detail explained by Venkatraman sir. So here, regarding the claim calculation, we saw that prevented sowing is one of the important clause with respect to PMFBY. So here, so first of all, I would like to tell you what is the difference between a prevented sowing and germination failure. Prevented sowing, like we are unable to sow the crop itself, like the farmer is intending to sow a crop, but what happens, there is there is no rain, there's absolutely no soil moisture, or it's completely flooded, his field is completely flooded, so he's not able to do the sowing. So that is prevented sowing. What is germination failure? Here there might be some soil moisture available, and with the slightly available soil moisture, the farmer is sowing the crop, and the crop, in fact, the crop has germinated, and there would be some 3 or 5 leaf stage. So after a 3 or 5 leaf stage, the crop is starting to get, the crop is getting wilted because of absence of rain. So in that case, that is called a germination failure. So in both cases, the state government, the district administration should invoke this particular clause in the scheme, and this has a time frame again. This should be this prevented sowing clause should be invoked within 15 days of the enrollment cutoff date. Say, for example, in Kharif, when 31st July is the cutoff date for Kharif, within 15 days of 31st July, within 15th August, it should be invoked. And there an example is given. So, say for example, in Kollam district, we have invoked prevented sowing for paddy. The sum insured for paddy here is 80,000. So, if it is a prevented sowing clause, if it is when the prevented sowing clause is invoked, we settle the claims at the rate of 25% of sum insured, and from then on, the policy gets terminated. So, here we are settling the claims 20,000 immediately, and the policy gets terminated. So, here in the right corner, you can see that the insurance company should be proactive in this implementation or invoking of this clause. Why? Now you might think that, okay, being an insurance company, it is for the sake of what can we say? If it is a prevented sowing clause, the payment, the outgo of the company would be only 25%. If it is an CC based claim, it would be 100%. No, that is not the reason. So one thing is, it is a professional scheme and it should be run professionally. So here, second thing is the ethical part of that is, now a farmer has lost his crop. If only the district administration is invoking the prevented sowing in time, we'll be able to settle the 25% of the sum insured immediately to the farmer, so that he will be able to continue the agriculture process. Like, he'll be able to sow the next crop, and he'll ensure that under the next season. I mean, because it's an ongoing thing. Soon after the end of Kharif, Rabi comes in. So he'll insure his crop in Rabi, and his farming operation would continue. So there are few officials who think that like once when the prevented sowing is invoked, it is the farmer is going to get only 25%. Whereas if you're not invoking the prevented sowing, then there are chances that after 1 month there would be a CCE and 100% loss can be reported, and then the farmer might get the 100% claim. So that is not the correct procedure. If there is a requirement of a prevented sowing clause to be invoked, then it should be certainly invoked.
Just to interrupt, Prasida, we
Yes,
have done in detail this claim calculation part. So you can just skip it.
Sure,
You can just mention and we can go further. Otherwise, we are just lagging with the time.
I understand.
Yeah.
So mid-season adversity, the provisions have been discussed by Venkatraman sir. We'll see just an illustration of how the calculations is to be done. So here in mid-season adversity, what we are doing is we are calculating the threshold yield. How to calculate the threshold yield? So there is a subtle difference. Like, even in the end of the season claim, we'll be calculating the TY, and for mid-season adversity also we'll be calculating the TY. The only difference is, in mid-season adversity, it will be the average of past 7 years, whereas in end of the season claims, it would be the best of out of the 7 years, we will cull out 2 bad years and we will take the best 5 years. So here you can see it's an illustration for 7 years yield is given. We have shown how that we have taken the average of all the 7 years, and we have applied the indemnity limit. What does an indemnity limit? Again, it's an insurance parlance. What does indemnity limit mean? Indemnity limit, if it is 90%, it means that insurance company will bear the 90% of the risk, and the farmer who is insured has to bear the 10% risk. So that is what indemnity limit means. If it is a high risk crop, the indemnity limit would be low, and if it is a low risk crop, the indemnity limit would be high. So here the indemnity limit is 90%, and it is applied. We have shown how an TO is calculated, and we can see how an MSA, how a mid-season adversity calculation is done. So now, say for example, the district administration has invoked mid-season adversity in a district. So what they are supposed to do with all the proxy indicators, so which sir was telling, so with all the proxy indicators, with rainfall reports, newspaper reports about the damages, the crop damages, then if they're having any satellite data imageries, with all those things, they have those data should be kept ready. then we can then the district administration can invoke the MSA and they can give the normal yield. What would be the normal yield for those notified invoke note areas, gram panchayats? Then they can also give the deviation from the normal yield. Say, for example, in A panchayat, if the normal yield in a year would be in a season would be 3,000 kg, and the deviation from the normal year due to any calamity is 60%, then all the rest of the columns, the calculation part would be done by insurance company. We would identify what is the deviation, it is 40%, and for that we will calculate the expected yield. Then we'll compare it with the threshold yield, and based on the above formula, TY minus expected yield by TY into sum insured into 25%. Under this provision, only 25% of the estimated claim is settled, and the balance would be settled at the end of the season. So next is localized calamity. Localized calamity, again, the state government can notify it in the notification itself what needs to be notified. So here we were discussing about the inundation. Shobha ma'am was telling about inundation in paddy. So I can tell you an information in Kerala, paddy inundation is a notified peril for under localized calamity under WBCS. So as madam was rightly saying, though though paddy is a hydrophilic crop, so if there maybe for 5 to 6 days, if there is a standing water, then okay, fine. There might be a chance for the recession of water, and the paddy crop might get revived. But if the water is stagnated for more than 10 days, then definitely, even if it is a water loving crop, the crop might get damaged. But in this particular slide, you can see the picture where we have taken the time-stamped location, location and time-stamped photographs. So this is one check mechanism we always ask our people to do while going for localized calamity inspections. And so I was telling about the time frame of localized calamity claim settlement. So within 30 to 32 days, the claim would be settled. If it is directly, if the farmer is intimating the company, within 30 days, we can settle the claim. I mean, we are supposed to settle the claim. And if it is through a channel partner, the intimation is given through some channel partner, it should be settled within 32 days. So here we have to educate the farmer about the timely intimation to the insurance company and to have the mandatory supporting documents. Say, for example, if you're in case of Mediclaim, when we are getting hospitalized, immediately we inform the insurer. If it is a motor claim, immediately we take the photographs of the accident. In the similar way, we have to educate the farmer that if there is a localized calamity, the farmer, nowadays everyone is having a mobile phone, so the farmer has to record the videos, photos, he has to collect the newspaper document, because all these things will facilitate for an easy claim settlement. So there it's shown that if there is a localized calamity claim settlement, so if say the localized calamity claim settlement is 12,000, and if the after the end of the season, the final claims was around 18,000. In this case, at the end of the season, the claims would be adjusted. Whatever is paid in between for the localized calamity would be adjusted, and the balance would be paid after the season. So here again, this is a localized calamity inspection picture. So whoever is processing the claim in the insurance company should take care. So see, this is a banana field. This is notified under PMFBY. So under PMFBY, wind damage is not a notified peril for localized calamity. But here you can see that if the farmer has intimated this is inundation, and if you have received the claim recommendation, then you have to be cautious, because with the photograph itself, you can identify that this is hilly terrain. There is no chance for water to get stagnated, and it's absolutely a wind damaged field. So in such cases, the claims have to be rejected. So this is again a banana field. There we can see the water stagnant in the field. We can see the field is well maintained with propping. So here, if there is a calamity and the farmer has asked for the claim, then this can be processed. I mean, this can be approved. So the basic condition for localized calamity claim settlement is receipt of subsidy. Receipt of first installment of subsidy. The upfront subsidy should be received. So only if the upfront subsidy is received from state government, then we'll be able to settle the claims for the farmer. Next is post-harvest losses. Again, this was in detail explained. The main thing is the crop should be in cut and spread condition, and if mostly it would be for cereal crops, especially paddy and ragi, we leave it as such cut and spread in the field. Whereas in case of maize, the cob would be harvested and we will keep it in the yard. So whatever this, again, it should be notified properly in the notification itself. What are the crops to be notified under post-harvest losses, and what is the sowing time and what is the harvesting time. So this is a typical calculation for end of the season claims. So as we discussed in mid-season adversity, the same, almost a similar formula is applied here, except that in mid-season adversity, it's plainly the average of 7 years into indemnity limit. Here it is the best 5 years out of the 7 years, past 7 years. So here you can see the yield of past 7 years is given, and out of which 2 bad years are chosen. So this is removed, and the average for the rest 5 years is taken, and indemnity limit for paddy 90% is applied. So this is then multiplied with the sum insured, and finally the claim amount is arrived. So then we'll see about a weather-based crop insurance scheme. So this is the main scheme in Kerala, and this is a typical AWS structure. So the logic is simple. So the compensation is based on the variation in the weather parameter. So the weather parameters would be recorded by the automatic weather stations for every period of particular stage of period. I mean, it would be continuously recorded for the entire season. So we would be focusing on the major weather parameters like temperature, rainfall, RH, and wind speed. And we would design a term sheet in the beginning itself, like what we would identify the critical weather parameters required for a crop growth and the optimum weather parameters required. So based on the deviation and the yield and the weather correlation, we'll design a term sheet, and accordingly, based on that term sheet, we will pay the claims. So unlike PMFBY, here you cannot see any specific clauses like prevented sowing mid-season or post-harvest. Why? Because here, when it is the WBCS, when it is weather-based crop insurance scheme, the scheme is as such is designed so that it covers each and every stage of the crop. See here, you can see that it is, for example, I've shown cardamom. So cardamom Kharif season. So from 1st April, the season commences. From 1st April to 31st March, 31st May, we are monitoring the dry spell. That is, we are monitoring the temperature, and when it is rain, we are monitoring the rainfall. When it is absolutely there is no rainfall, absence of rainfall, then a sum insured of 20,000 is apportioned for dry spell. So the basic condition should be insufficient moisture. Why are we focusing on insufficient moisture? Because due to insufficient moisture in that summer month, that would affect the fruit setting in cardamom, and this will affect the size and flavor of cardamom. Subsequently, in the same season, if there is a high temperature and low rainfall situation, that is already we saw it is in the first case it is low rainfall. Now it is high temperature, the temperature is also high, there is absolutely no rainfall. In that case, there are chances for pest incidents, and there will be crop loss due to capsule borer and cardamom thrips. The next season, during next phase from June to November, it would be monsoon season in Kerala, and here due to if there is a period of high rainfall and high RH, then there would be a chance for disease incidents, and that specifically capsule rot in cardamom. And here we have a portion 15,500 for cardamom. So here the total 45,000 sum insured is divided for 3 different covers, and that is why we don't need any other separate provisions like prevented sowing and MSA. So this is a typical term sheet. So when it's as such seen, it seems to be a little complicated, whereas it is not so. Here I'm taking just one parameter in dry spell. So here dry spell, you can see that it is mentioned that there is the period is mentioned in how many consecutive days there should be the rainfall should be monitored. It's also mentioned there, and we have defined very particularly the rainfall. Rainfall is defined as a day. Where dry day is defined as a day which has less than 2.5 mm rainfall. So you can see that in the first thing nearby strike, it is mentioned that if 20 consecutive days from 1st April, if the farmer is not getting any rainfall for 20 continuous days, then he is eligible for 8,000 rupees in that payer cover. If it is for 25 days, it is 12,000 rupees. Now coming to the illustration below, you can see that in A Panchayat, 19 consecutive days there is no rainfall. In this case, the farmer will not get any claim because we have clearly mentioned it should be at least 20 days. In the next thing, you can see in B Panchayat, for 32 days there is continuously there is no rainfall. So here, which falls under between the 3rd and the 4th category. So it fits in the 3rd category, that is a minimum of 30 days strike is hit. So here we are paying the farmer of 15,000 rupees. Now you can see the last row, same B Panchayat. So after 32 days of absolutely no rainfall, then there is some slight summer shower for 1 or 2 days. Again, continuously there is no rainfall for 21 days. So again, we are seeing it, and we see that it satisfies the first criteria, that is minimum 20 days, we give 8,000. But instead of paying 8,000, we'll pay only 5,000, because in this dry spell cover, maximum payout would be 20,000, and out of which we have already calculated for 15,000. So in this, we are paying for 5,000. The balance 5,000 will be paid. So with respect to localized calamity under WBCS, though I told you prevented sowing and mid-season adversity and post-harvest losses are not there, there is localized calamity provision under WBCS. And when it is localized calamity for WBCS, state government has to take care of notifying two important things. One is the plant population. See, unlike paddy, we can say that by eye estimation basis, we can say 50% of the field is lost. So if 1 hectare is insured and if 50% is lost, then we can say 0.5 hectares is lost there. But whereas in case of perennial plants like arecanut, cardamom, cashew, and also the other horticulture crops like tapioca, banana, so it is possible only to count the plants. So here in the notification itself, the ideal plant population should be mentioned, and also the stage-wise slabs of the corresponding percentage loss should be mentioned in the notification. So in the notification, it is important to mention the sowing and harvesting window with respect to PMFBY, and if it is a WBCS, we have to mention the plant population and the ideal percentage loss in various stages. So this is an example for cashew, where in Kerala, the stage-wise crop loss is clearly mentioned. So this is nothing but the input cost incurred at every stage. So in cashew, if it is seedling stage, 30% of the total cost has been incurred. And the total sum insured is mentioned as 60,000 per hectare, and the plant population is 177 numbers per hectare. So claim settlement. So we have seen how the claim processing has been done, and now it's the claim settlement. And claim settlement until Kharif 22, what was being done is, so Ajay sir was telling that earlier it was done by insurance company. Yes, insurance company was taking the data from DES for PMFBY and from the notified weather station service providers, the weather data from the weather station service providers, and insurance companies would process the claim and we would settle the claim to the farmers. But now, now the claim settlement is done by NCIP, and this is again a very historic move, because this makes the farmer to get to know the claim amount from the portal itself, like how now they're able to see their enrollment status. Now from now on, they can also see the claim status in the portal. And again, prevented sowing, localized calamity, and mid-season adversities, the state government can, in case of prevented sowing, they can raise they can invoke the notification in the portal itself, and insurance company can accept it. And if they have any query, they can revert it to the state government. The same thing applies for mid-season adversity too. And in case of yield-based claims, and AOI and TOI, the actual yield and the threshold yield will be uploaded by state in the portal. Then again, insurance company will approve, will accept the thing, and if there is any change, they will inform the state government. It will be corrected accordingly. Then last is post-harvest. This is also similar to MSA and the prevented sowing thing. So the state government would raise the farmer would raise the intimation in the in the portal, and insurance company will verify it and declare the loss percentage based on the survey. So after the arriving at the claims, now the claim settlement part. Claim settlement part is now done by Public Financial Management System. So the state government will upload all the claim related inputs in the IU, which we saw earlier. So now what insurance company would do is, insurance company would again verify the claims and will have 2 levels of approval within the insurance company. So after the final approval, so they will digitally sign that a lot would be generated. They would digitally sign it, and they would send it for payment and to NCIP. And NCIP will verify this through PFMS platform. This PFMS is nothing but it's kind of like our net banking. They would verify the individual account holder. So this digitally signed claim payment file will be shared to the PFMS. So it's again a very secured process. It would be sent, and from banks would verify the individual account holder, and they would debit the claim amount from insurance company, and they will credit it in the farmer's account. And finally, the claim status would get reflected in NCRP portal. Thank you so much. I thank Ministry for giving me this opportunity to present this role of insurance companies in PMFBI. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Madam, Dr. P.R. Prasiddha, Madam, for giving information on Common Service Center, enrollment through banks and online enrollment process, and calamities and claims settlement, and also timely intimation to insurance companies. Thank you very much, Madam. And the last one is open house for the question and answer session and concluding remarks and closing. Sir, Shri Sunil Kumar, Assistant Commissioner, Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India. Sir will be there in the presence. You can ask the question and answers.
I think Sir Sunil sir is not able to join. We can open it for question answer and then we go for conclusion.
Okay, in presence of Ms. Pallavi Mali, Madam. So the question and answer session is open to all of you participants. You can ask questions now.
I know it was a very heavy session, but the scheme is so technical and we just wanted to impart this knowledge to you and to make you understand about the nitty-gritties of the scheme. So if any question, then we'd like to answer.
Nobody's responding.
I think they are all overwhelmed with the information.
Yes, Madam.
Yes.
At least one or two participants.
Yeah. We can take one or two questions.
Anyone from Pondicherry and Tamil Nadu? I feel some people are familiar to me.
Participants, please come onto the screens, all of you. At least I want to see.
Since there are more states under EI Hyderabad, that's why we have these many speakers, so that you will also get a hang of the experience of scheme implementation in different states. So we have Karnataka, Kerala, and from Tamil Nadu, the speakers.
Yes, now they are coming on the screens.
Yes.
In their.
I think everybody has understood the scheme implementation very well.
Yes, yes, yes. Dear participants, please, one or two, at least one of you respond.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Myself, Kuyevanan from Tanjavur, ma'am. Crop insurance Sego. Ma'am, in our district, most of the farmers asking the interest, ma'am, for the delayed claim. If anything like that possible, ma'am, for providing interest.
Maybe Venkatraman sir, you may ask this question pertaining to Tamil Nadu.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible,
Yes.
ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Actually, in fact, as you said, many of the farmers in almost all the districts, whenever the payment is delayed, they ask for some interest, penal interest. And in fact, we have also asked the insurance companies to pay in case if there is any delay. But the problem is that there are certain eligible. We are able to pay him instantly. That is within the stipulated timeline. But in case of any dispute, so the insurance companies are not able to stick on to the time frame. So that is where the problem arises. So in that case, we are trying to convince the farmers, or in case if there is an opportunity, we try to convince insurance companies to pay penal interest, but so far that has not happened. And in some of the cases, certain farmers have approached the court for legal redressal. So I think we have also written to Government of India to make it more actually more noticeable, this penalty clause.
Sir, what I would like to add here is, anyhow, the provision is made in the guidelines regarding the 12% penalty that can be imposed on the insurance companies. But this penalty can be imposed only when the issue is resolved. Once the issue is resolved by the state government, if there is further delay in the insurance company in settling the claims, only then the penalty can be imposed, sir.
Any other question? If no questions, then we can wrap up. Praveen sir? You are on mute. Praveen sir, you are on mute.
Okay, madam, I am proposing vote of thanks, madam.
Yeah. You can ask them to write us. We can get back to them if they have any questions. You can mail it to me. We can respond over email.
Yes. Participants, if you have any questions also, you can write it and send as said by the Pallavi Mali madam. Oh, okay. Then I thank Dr. Jagan Mohan Reddy sir, Director EEI, for his opening remarks. And also I thank Ms. Pallavi Mali madam. Actually, madam was in contact with our Director Jagan Mohan Reddy sir since from weekdays, 10 days like that, for organizing this program. And also behind the program, our Director of Extension, Sudha Rani, Madam, Professor Jaishankar, Telangana State Agriculture University, Madam was she couldn't not able to attend, but Madam was there behind this program. And also Shri Sanjay Kalekar sir, Joint Director, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, and also Shri Ritesh Chauhan sir, Joint Secretary Credit and CEO, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Ministry of Agriculture. They are all there behind this program. I thanks to Sanjay Kalekar sir and Ritesh Chauhan sir, and also the speakers. First speaker Ajay Karan Singh sir, National Program Director, CPMU, means Central Project Management Unit, Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture sir. Sir, you have given a lot of information regarding the climate change on agriculture and need for the crop insurance, and also followed by Ms. Pallavi Mali madam, Capacity Building and Content Development Analyst, Credit Division, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, Government of India. Madam also focused, actually, we don't know the differences between PMFY and the Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana and restructured weather-based crop insurance scheme. So many differences, and also who are the stakeholders, and what are the silent features and what are the premium rates. Madam has given a detailed information. Thank you very much, Pallavi Mali madam. And also followed by another speaker, Shri Venkat Raman sir, Deputy Director and Nodal Officer for Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Agriculture Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. Sir, you have covered very well, sir, regarding the type of risk covered in detail and responsibilities of the farmers, and also field experience and implementation aspects. I thank you very much, sir. And also, I thank Srimati Shobha Patil, madam, working as an Assistant Director and Nodal Officer, Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana, Agriculture Department, Government of Telangana. Madam also given a detailed explanation regarding dispute management with insurance companies and grievance readdressal. And also, again, she has explained experience in field implementation. Thank you very much, madam. and followed by Dr. P.R. Prasiddha Madam, State Head Business Development, Agriculture Insurance Company of India, Regional Office Thiruvananthapuram. Also, Madam also given a good information regarding farmer application process and also claim calculation, claim settlement, and also experience in the field implementation. And finally, I thank actually Sunil sir was not there. I thank EI faculty and also technicians of EEI, technicians of EEI, and all the officials and all the participants who are very patient to listen from starting. They have listening all the classes, but only one of the participants have responded. So no problem. Other participant you can send through mails as said by the Pallavi Mali madam. I thank you everybody. If I missed anything also, I thanks to one and all. Thank you, Pallavi Mali madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you all.